kick to the gut. I like it.
Oh, here we go. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. I'm back live
Yes.
right here
Yes.
on the podcast, bro.
Welcome back from the jungle, baby.
Yes, it's not a welcome to the jungle. It's really back from the
Back
jungle.
from
bro.
the jungle. And today we are not alone on the show. You can see in the scroller. We've talked about it in chat. Everybody, give it up. Show some love for Ho Ho Lun.
Woo! Hello.
Our guy, what's up, my man?
How are you?
Hello, Ho Ho Lun here. I feel fantastic. What about you guys?
We are good. Actually, right now we are live streaming on YouTube. We got a very healthy crowd, like about 10 people coming in, and it will get more as we continue talking.
10 people. That's amazing.
It's
Let's
right
go.
off the bat. They are waiting. I think because they want to hear a lot about our Vince McMahon reaction as well. Like that. That's the
Guys,
selling point.
there's so much juice coming out of the world of pro wrestling right now. I mean, even if you're not into the actual on-screen product, like there's so much backstage tea that's being spilled. I can't wait to get into it, guys.
Yeah, man. But before that, we gotta introduce
Yes.
you, Ho Ho Lun. Of course, most wrestling fans would know you from your time at the WWE Cruiserweight Classic. First Hong Kong wrestler to be wrestling in WWE. Am I right?
You're absolutely right, man.
Yeah, man. So we're definitely gonna deep dive about your time there, and of course, you said you just had a recent excursion in the US as well. So yeah, a lots to dive into. But can you please share with us, like especially the Singapore wrestling audience, the fans here, who you are and your background in wrestling, like how long you've been wrestling for and all that.
My name is Ho Ho Lun. I started wrestling in 2009. And my relationship with wrestling in Singapore actually started in 2012. That's where SPW first started. So I aware them, like they just have their wrestling school set up like 10 years ago, 2012. So I remember I messaged that time straight away to Andrew Tang and introduced myself. Hey, my name is Ho Ho Lun. I promote shows in Hong Kong. I've been wrestling for that time for like 3-4 years.
Yep.
So I know you're a new company, but if you need help, I am always there. But I don't know much that time, but I still offer help.
Right.
All right.
So then in 2013, I came to Singapore for the very first time. So that was when I wrestled a bit in the UK and wrestled a bit in Japan. And then I come to SPW and try to train you guys and, see what's going on over here. And on and off, I've been coming into Singapore 10 to 20 times. I didn't count, but a lot of times.
Awesome.
Nice.
I've
So, I mean,
wrestled
you-
in SPW a lot and, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like you traveled all around the world. Recently, you were on AEW as well, right? Tell us, like, of all the experiences. I know it's hard to pick out one or two, but which place has made you feel the best in a way?
Yeah.
In fact, I wrestled the last 3 years mainly in Japan here in Dragon Gate.
Wow.
But the end of last year, I took like 2 months off to travel to the US and see what's going on there. So actually, I booked my flight to the US having just one booking confirmation, which is for MLW, Major League Wrestling. But then the moment I land there, I talk to some friends. Hey, I'm here in America. You wanna have me over and have a few matches?
Yeah.
So I end up wrestle like 8 matches in the
Awesome.
US, which include AEW, MLW, and I don't know if you're aware, GCW, and there's a company called Deadlock Pro Wrestling as well. So these are the more bigger name in the US.
All right. Sorry, can you do us a small favor? Is it okay if you shift your head more to the right so we can get you central a bit? Because
There- too much,
not too much.
There
Yes,
we go.
stop.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, because I think they just see half of your very beautiful eyes and
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's the gimmick, like mystery man, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Half mystery.
Yeah. Hold on. Sir Haas in the chat says your green sunglasses are still with him. Do you know our Sir Hus?
Yes, I know. That was my character back before I go to NXT. So that was the character that I used. I call myself a cool star. I come out singing karaoke song and having that green sunglasses. So that was my character. Wow, glad that it's still with you. I don't know where's mine now.
We got some long-time fans. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
man.
reading on the podcast.
Let's shout out everybody in chat, by the way. Rishi, how you doing? Irvin, it's good to see you. Sahus, of course. Div Royalty as well. If you guys have any questions for Ho Ho Lun, please leave them in the chat. Now, talking about training, right? So, okay, you are coming to Singapore very soon, sometime in August, a little bit after our National Day, for a little bit of a training seminar with SPW. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and the dates as well?
I will actually fly in on the 11th of August, and then for 12, 13, 14, there will be 3 days. I'll be holding a seminar in the SPW Training Center there in Tai Seng, Jo Seng Road, I think. 3 days, that will be it's not like 3 days I'll do the same thing. That will be 3 days doing different. And I know there's 3 companies in Singapore right now, so there will be a lot of wrestlers, a lot of new guys that I haven't met. You know, I haven't been in Singapore for 4 years now. My last visit was 2018, so I can assume that there will be a lot of new guys that I haven't met, and I'll be really happy to meet them. And then on August 6th,
we have a bit of a lag situation. Oh, there we go. I think, do we have it back?
Almost.
I'll be YouTube taping for.
Okay, I think we have a bit of a lag situation because he is in Japan right now. So this is a Pacific. Not really. Not trans. Oh, there we go. Do we have him back? Do we have you back, Ho Lun?
You just need to stabilize a bit the streaming.
Do I have you back?
Yes, we have you back.
Okay, we can
for the
hear
first time, it's not because of foreign. It's not because usually I always get the lag, but no longer.
No, I think he's frozen again. Oh,
okay. Just give a testing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry. We'll ride through it.
Yeah. It's that hotel Wi-Fi, like, you know what it is, right? Like when you go overseas, when you travel, you get to that hotel and they give you the shittiest connection ever until you pay. You gotta pay a man. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Okay, actually we can see you. I can continue.
I can see you as well, but can you hear me?
We can hear you now, yes.
Yeah, just try to talk not too fast.
Where were I when it stopped?
You talk about how you were seeing people that you haven't seen since 2018.
Yeah, so that will be August 12, 13, 14. I'll be doing seminar in Singapore, and on the 16th I'll be doing a YouTube taping for Ring of Rebirth.
Oh, awesome.
And then I'll leave Singapore on the 18th and do a show in Bangkok, Thailand, for Setup Pro Wrestling on the 20th of August. Although we haven't, announced me yet, but I do my announcement here now.
There you go. Exclusive right here on the podcast. So you have a very busy few weeks, huh?
This is basically the lifestyle that I've been experiencing all the time. I am in Dragon Gate here since 2019. So the schedule here is very, very busy. Our company runs 15 to 17 shows each month, which I wrestle around half of them.
Right.
I got to keep myself busy to pay all my bills, right?
Yeah, right. You got to hustle. Let me jump back to the training, the seminar that you're holding, right? Is it for newbies? Can someone completely fresh join, or is it for people who already have some sort of experience in pro wrestling?
It will be for everybody who, but I would suggest that somebody have at least 3 months training before they come in. If not, they will never understand, a single word that I say.
Right.
It is not basically just about technique and wrestling drill and wrestling, how to run rope and do all the move. It's more about the attitude, the mentality of you. If you want to be a wrestler, if you want to wrestle somewhere else, if you want to have a career in wrestling, this is very difficult. I mean, when you first start, there's no money at all. And you got a lot of work ethic kind of stuff. So, most basically, if you know nothing or if you can do all this move, doesn't really matter. That's more about attitude and ethics.
Nice. So basically what he's saying is, foreign, you can join the seminar. I unfortunately cannot because I have zero experience. I only watch.
Yeah, just start training now in ROR and then
Yeah, you hear them.
I'll give you an exemption.
Crash course within a week, huh? Like a fast course. Go
We've
every day.
already got questions streaming in from the audience. We'll just power through a couple of them. So Irvin asked, how is the Hong Kong wrestling scene right now?
Right now, that's a very good question. Myself haven't been back to Hong Kong since 2 years ago.
Since before the pandemic.
Our last show was in 2019. We supposed to do a collab show with Dragon Gate in Hong Kong on October 2019. That was before COVID-19. But if you can remember, there's a lot of protests going on during that time, and a lot of chaos going on in the city. So we stopped that show. 2 months later, we supposed to have our big show, 10th year anniversary of Winter Fever, which is our WrestleMania in Hong Kong. So we call it Winter Fever. But then we stopped again because coronavirus. And then that's the end of it.
Oh no.
Still on the back burner, waiting for a comeback.
Yeah. You see now coming to Singapore is quarantine free, and going to Thailand is also quarantine free. But even for me, I am having Hong Kong.
The hotel Wi-Fi strikes again, my friend.
Back to Hong Kong.
Okay, we'll have to write this lag spike through in just a few seconds.
Okay. I'm trying to remember the last thing he said was quarantine free. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember that. Sorry, Ho Lun. I think there was a. There you go. There was like a Wi-Fi lag again.
So he's gonna bang the router a bit. No, I'm just kidding. Ho Lun, we have you back.
Yes, I am back. I'm gonna switch to the other Wi-Fi. I might disconnect for a little bit. Please
don't worry. We will talk to our audience.
Absolutely. Irvin says, "Kana censored."
Because we talk about the unrest.
Div Royalty says, "I remember Ho Ho Lun as the coolest dude." There we go.
It was. It's very cool that he is actually a Dragon Gate wrestler. So I'm guessing that is his primary promotion right now.
That's right. Yeah, for the past couple of years anyway. If you're just joining us on the podcast, by the way, don't worry. We will be jumping into all the juicy stuff in just a bit, all right? The Ring of Honor stuff, the SPW stuff, the Vince McMahon. He fired himself.
Yes, he did. Indeed, he did. So, are you back?
Am I back? I just switched to my Wi-Fi from my phone, so
it seems
maybe
much more stable.
Better.
Yes,
it's much more stable already. Yeah, we're good. Okay, the last
thing. Am I moving? Because my screen is like frozen, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you're fine. You look fine here on our screens.
Okay then. Yeah. Okay. Where are we now?
Yes, you talk about how Singapore and Thailand is quarantine free, right?
Yeah, and but even for me having a Hong Kong IC going back to Hong Kong, I got to quarantine myself for 2 weeks. So and most of our show we have to book wrestler from overseas, from Japan, from Singapore, from Thailand coming over to Hong Kong. So that's not very possible at this moment.
I understand. Right. So the scene on itself, the local wrestler, like the pool is still quite small.
Yeah, but the good thing is over there they just set the ring back up, and they just got back to regular training. I think like 3 months ago. So they're doing good, I hope, but I really can't put my hands on it too much because I am like 5,000 miles away from where they are now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I want to give a shout out to Tovakin. He asked the question, and also a few people have asked the question about your time in North America, starting with the Cruiserweight Classic. What was that experience like? And then how was your experience wrestling in all the various promotions in North America?
So my 2016 to 2017 run is just for NXT. So, my first match there was in the Cruiserweight Classic. It was also my first match wrestling in the US. So I don't know what to expect. And it is very, very different from what I have experienced, since 2009, because I wrestle most of my time in UK indie scene and in Japan. Even though some of those matches are being taped on TV or being live on TV, it's totally different from WWE, because WWE is a product which is not for the wrestling fan market only. It's for basically everybody.
Right. The man. I think we talk about this a lot on the podcast as well. How the WWE really, their target audience is the mass audience. Your everyday man and woman on the street, right?
Yes. So everything have to be do in a certain way. And I remember I've only fly in like 2 days before the Cruiserweight Classic taping, and I spent one whole day doing all the pre-tapes in the backstage of the Performance Center.
Wow.
So I'm exhausted, I'm jet lagged,
Right.
and I don't know what to expect. So that morning when I go to do my first round match, the arena is quite nice. It was a Full Sail University at that time.
Yeah.
That was not a really big arena. I think it holds about 500 people.
Okay.
It's similar to a lot of indie show, but the camera setting,
Yeah.
the lighting, the stage, that was a different level to me. I'm a wrestler myself, but I am also a promoter myself. So when I see these kind of things, I feel more excited than I step into the ring.
Right. So
The entire setup, everything.
Is there a style, quote unquote, that you prefer, or it is what it is?
It is a style that I was not used to.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel nervous
Right.
until 5 seconds before I stepped into the ring.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm all blank. What the hell?
Who was your first opponent during the match? Do you remember?
That was Arya Davari. So I think
Yes, Davari.
he just debuted in AEW last week, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
did. He did.
Yeah, so that was my first round opponent, and then my second round opponent, who is now in NXT UK, that was Noam Dar.
No,
I don't know
Dar.
if he's still there.
Yeah.
So I did 2 matches for Cruiserweight Classic, and then I was offered to, would you be interested to stay in NXT for a while? So I said, yeah, why not?
Of
Here now.
course.
So yeah, I don't mind extending my stay. So I stayed there for a year before I come back in Asia to do my stuff.
What was your most memorable scene or thing that you did while you were in NXT? Do you reckon?
To be honest, when I was there, my main responsibility is to perform, is to wrestle.
Yeah.
I also got another responsibility because that time WWE was trying to expand themselves to the market in China. So they
Yes.
hire like 8 person without any pro wrestling experience to get over to US and start their training and do their stuff. So part of my responsibility is to help these guys to first of all get used to the life in the US. Although that's only my first trip in the US, I only stayed there for 3 months, and then they told me to do that.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I think
And
speaking
then-
English helps, right?
I don't know. I don't speak much. Well, my English is not like this when I first get into the US. It was like very, very Chinese English,
Right.
like Chinese English. Broken English. Like,
right. Yeah.
So, but then, part of my responsibility was that. And what was your question? What the most memorable stuff
Yeah.
was? That is a very good question, Mr. Young.
I remember you had some good matches with like Johnny Gargano, Ciampa. You were mixing around with these people, right?
Yeah, but the most memorable match that I have was not on TV. It's in a very local house show where
okay.
you can take your time and interact with the fans. Because
Right.
in TV match you can only wrestle
Right.
for 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you go to a house show, you got a lot of local audience, like 200-300 local audience with a lot of kids, and they like me, they like my name and chant ho 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 all the time. So this is very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And American fans are the craziest fans than in wrestling can ever have, all in America. They chant every second. When you watch Japanese wrestling, you see them clapping hands, right?
Yeah.
They still shout, but
Yeah.
nowadays everybody got to wear a mask, so they just clap their hands
Very
Right.
respectful.
here. So it's very quiet. It's like wrestling, you know. They still appreciate what you do in the ring, but they just don't express themselves as the American does.
Right.
So a lot of good memory. Go back to the house show. I tag team a lot with the Heavy Machinery.
Oh,
with
wow.
Otis.
with
Otis and Tucker,
yes,
yeah.
with the street
Profits?
Street Profits.
Wow.
That time they got Sanity.
Wow. Yeah, Sanity.
Eric Young and Big Demo, those kind of. I did a lot of tag team matches with them. So these are not on TV, but these are the most memorable experience that I had during my stay in NXT.
It was a good time period as well for NXT. Did you interact with a lot of the top NXT stars? Like I think Nakamura was there. There was a couple of big wrestlers still wrestling in NXT.
I actually traveled to local shows a few times with Nakamura, with Kenta.
Nice.
These are the people that my travel mate is what you call a carpool mate.
Share car rides.
Tovakin says, by the way, in chat, Sanity had so much potential. Well, that's the whole point of NXT, to explore everybody's potential, right?
But they're all gone, right?
Yeah, they're all gone now, except for Nikki, who's on Raw with the
Nikki
whole
Cross.
ASH gimmick and everything. But coming back to the seminar that you'll be doing, okay, so if somebody is interested, they want to join the seminar, do they reach out to you? Do they reach out to SPW? What's the deal?
It depends on which school they are training with. If they're with the Grapple Max, they talk to Grapple Max. If they're with SPW, they talk to SPW. If they are from like Malaysia or Philippines, you can DM me on Instagram. That's Ho Ho Lun 719. HOHOLUN 719.
And I can vouch that Ho Ho Lun is very active on Instagram, and that's how we actually got in touch in the first place. So if you want to DM him, please.
There you go.
Very, very nice on Instagram.
Yes, please.
Slide into his DMs. Did you watch the recent Ring of Honor card? Because I know Foreign mentioned that you have some sort of a connection with Gresham, right?
I did not watch because I was traveling the whole time last 2 days. But I know Gresham is having a main event match with Cesaro. He's not Cesaro anymore. Claudio. I saw a little bit of clip on Twitter. Yeah. That was a great match.
Yeah. What was your connection? You stayed together with Gresham or?
That was back in 2012, I think, because it just appeared to be me and him, and are in Japan at the same time. So we both wrestled for 0-1 at that time. So he was just there on the bed just next to me. So we spent like 3 months together while we were in Japan.
Wow.
But that time he was very good already at that time. Just nobody know who he is. That was 10 years ago. But he was already winning championship in Japan. But I don't know at that time there's a lot of US fans know him yet, but he was very good. So at the end of 2012, he actually traveled to Hong Kong on his way back to America to did a match in Hong Kong Pro Wrestling.
Right.
That was a classic match with Mr. Jason Lee.
Yes.
Remember Jason Lee pinned him with German suplex, kind of things like that. The referee count to 3, and then he kicked out before the 3, and the referee rang the bell. And then Gresham was so angry. He demanded for rematch. Legit demand for rematch.
Wait, this wasn't pre-planned. This happened by accident. The referee.
Wait, really?
This is 1-2.
So
it
was the Hong Kong screw job. Not the Montreal screw job, but the Hong Kong screw job.
So I'm there in the ringside. That's not my match, but I'm still in the ringside. Oh, I want a rematch. That's not over. I want a rematch.
Oh
Did the
my
rematch?
gosh.
Did the rematch happen ever?
No, they didn't, because the referee
Oh.
rang the bell and the music. The moment the referee rang the bell, the music guy played the music already.
Oh, right,
Oh,
right.
it really felt like a screw job.
job. Oh my god.
I want a rematch. So that's a rematch he asked for since 2012, and it's still not happened yet.
Oh my god.
But he becomes super famous nowadays. I don't know if we can still invite him to Hong Kong for
Right.
that rematch, but
You will probably
we
remember
thought-
this, hold a grudge
Yeah,
against.
I think
the
so.
promotion.
Interestingly enough, because I don't know if you guys saw the dirt sheets, right? There's a rumor that he's asking for his release from Ring of Honor.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
wow. What happened?
Apparently he's just not very happy with his direction within AEW, Ring of Honor, and then he actually, had a meeting with our best friend Tony Khan, the best booker of 2022, and things didn't go too well. Apparently he asked for his release, and well, I don't know if that has anything to do with the result of Death Before Dishonor, but it is what it is. Do we want to jump into the card right now?
We can, but I think there is a couple more questions. Because you mentioned about your US excursion, right? Which will lead nicely into our AEW conversation topic at ROH. Can you just share with us, when did you actually go to the US, and who did you face against in AEW on your tapings and MLW?
So in AEW, that was the last show of the year 2021.
Last year, yeah.
I was in a match with Sammy Guerrero.
Sammy Guevara.
Guevara.
Yeah,
Yes.
in Dark. So
Nice.
it was a short match, and I did not expect the fans to know me or recognize me or remember me, but I
Wow.
remember I didn't have an entrance. I just
Oh.
walk in the ring in total silence.
Oh no.
That's how Dark works, right?
Okay.
If you watch Dark, they only have their own wrestler, have a really nice entrance, but
Yep.
all these freelance guys just walk in silence. But the moment I walk in, what the fuck? I was shocked. People still remember me.
That's
This
good.
was
Yeah.
I saw you in NXT. Okay.
This was in a
Hello.
Daly's place. Was this at Daly's place or somewhere else?
This is in the Jacksonville Arena. How do you call
Yeah, Daly's place, right?
I can't remember. It might be it, but that was in Jacksonville Arena where they do all the shows when there was a lockdown. You remember?
Yeah, like their studio show.
So yeah, people still remember me. That's the thing that I feel happy about. The match is a short match. Sammy I think he's challenging Cody Rhodes the next week before the
Right.
match. So
Yes, it's their TNT title championship match, right?
yeah, so I'm there, do a short match with him, and so he can do all this, this shout out to Cody Rhodes. So this was great. I met Tony Khan as well at the backstage. He's such a happy guy. He's
A
he's
happy
having
guy.
his coffee mug, just walking around the backstage. Hey, hello. He's really happy. He's like those kind of young entrepreneur in the startup company, those kind of things, having his coffee mug. Hello.
High on coffee.
Well, who knows what else is in that coffee? Compare that backstage vibe to NXT. Was it different? How was it different?
NXT is more serious. Triple H is there all the time, of course, and every match there. You got to work with how the camera works and things like that. But I think it's I can't compare this because NXT show and AEW Dark, they have a different how to say, they have a different purpose.
Right.
NXT is a pure TV show, but AEW Dark is to make their own wrestler look good in a match. So it serves a different purpose. If it's Dynamite or Rampage, maybe I would expect very similar production requirement as in NXT. But Dark, maybe it's a bit different. So I can't judge that with just my experience in Dark.
That's
Sure.
true. May I know who was actually your point of contact to get you the spot on AEW?
There's a person, I don't know if I should mention his name, but this is a person that I met when I work in NXT. So he knows I'm here, and he now work in AEW. So he just, you want to come down to do a short match? Yes, of course. It's Jacksonville. I live in Orlando. It's only 2 hours away. I'm down.
Nice. Okay, then let's jump into the Ring of Honor. I think a lot of people are waiting for our sort of breakdown of it. Did you manage to get to watch it or not, Foreign?
Yeah, yes, I did watch a couple of matches, especially the wrestlers that I know.
Yes.
And the ones that I do not know, like Delton Castle, I will just go through.
Yeah, I was about to say, let me guess. The main event, the pure title, and the first match, the championship match, those are the ones you pay attention to, right?
Yeah, the television title, Samoa Joe. It's nice to see Samoa Joe back. Yeah. But yeah, so if Ho Ho Lun, if any of these wrestlers you've actually interacted with personally, please feel free to share any anecdotes.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll just quickly run through it. Yeah.
Okay, so they kicked off the show, and this was a big surprise. I didn't watch the pre-show, by the way. I assume you didn't as well, Foreign?
No.
Did not?
There's only
Okay.
a certain number of hours in a day,
That's true. But were you surprised when they kicked off the show with the ROH World Championship, Claudio Castagnoli versus Jonathan Gresham?
It was really a surprise, and I think the commentators sold it really well.
Yep.
They did mention on commentary that they did a coin toss between the tag team match and the heavyweight title match, and the ROH heavyweight started off the show, which was cool.
I actually liked it. I actually saw the reason behind it. Now that we know the whole Gresham thing, and then you watch the match play out. What did you think of the match?
Very interestingly, now that you have given me some context. On Jonathan Gresham not being happy and all that, it was competitive, but not to the extent like you never doubted Claudio was gonna win the title.
Do you think it's because Claudio came in with so much momentum? He's a big name, right? And, he's Cesaro from the WWE. And they're like, all right, we got to give it to him here. And then this is the other weird thing, right? Yes, we all know Ring of Honor. They do the whole code of honor, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Irvin even says the size difference was very distracting. So all that, you remember the past couple of weeks on Dynamite, he had been coming out with Tully Blanchard. He had turned heel, right?
Yes.
No mention of that here. Like, he completely dropped the gimmick and they just did a match. It was very handshake after that, and that was it. So I was like, what is going on? And now that we know the context of he's probably on his way out, that's probably how he wanted to be remembered, I guess. Not this sports entertainment bullshit.
Yeah, Gresham didn't work heel. It felt like a babyface versus babyface match.
So they completely disregarded the past 2 weeks lah.
Yes, and you're right about the distracting size differential. I mean, we know Gresham is not a big size guy, but he's well built, right?
Yep.
But even when Cesaro versus Rey Mysterio, I always felt like Rey Mysterio, as a smaller guy, somehow still got the offense to pull off.
Yeah.
But I never thought that Gresham could out-wrestle Cesaro, even though he is known for being this best technical wrestler kind of thing. So, I don't know. Is Gresham considered a similar size or bigger or smaller than you, Ho Ho Lun, from your time knowing him?
No, I think he's then 160 or something, right? So he's supposed to be a small person, no matter in Japan or no matter it's in America. In America, he's even smaller.
Yeah. So
even in Japan, he's considered like a smaller size wrestler.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as a smaller size wrestler, the psychology going into a match versus somebody who's Claudio he's tremendous. He's not even average.
Man.
He's big, tough guy, super tall. What is the psychology there? How do you make that work? Because yes, they tried to play powerhouse versus technical. It was a good match, but there wasn't, to me, a real cherry on the cake,
I didn't watch this match against Cesaro, but the Jonathan Gresham that I know of, other than being very technical, he is also playing a lot of mind games where he just attack an opponent on the arm or on the leg.
Yep.
I think it's on the arm most of the time. He kicks to the arm is his finisher, right? Kick to the arm and then do a submission kind of things.
Yeah.
So that would work really well for him, especially he's not that big, but focus on the arm, which is like
Yeah.
Makes
the
sense.
body versus arm. It makes a lot of sense, and
Yeah.
and the fans like to watch it, and it's very effective.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's very clear the ROH fans love him. I think they consider him a Ring of Honor original. But again, Claudio also has history and ties with Ring of Honor, so I think a lot of them also wanted him to become that world champion that he never did in his first run.
It's like having that moment, but there was not much of a build to it, so I don't know. It feels just like Samoa Joe coming in, winning the TV title, and then disappears. Sort of, you know what I mean? That sort of vibe. So I'm like, okay, it was a great way to start the pay-per-view, but ultimately, I'm like, all right, it was never in doubt, lah. So if it's never in doubt, then you're not gonna sort of have that connection to it. A lot of people bring up the fact that the commentary team was amazing. I would agree. Riccaboni and Caprice are miles better than Excalibur, JR, and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, for you, Ho Lun, like, have you came across Ring of Honor or cross paths or near the promotion in any way in your travels to US?
Actually, no, because when I was in the US end of last year, that's where Ring of Honor just announced the news where they got sell the company, they got to stop the company, and then they only do like 1 or 2 shows a year. And then the moment that I left the US, and they just announced AEW purchased the entire company.
Yeah.
So I did not have a chance to wrestle for them. But speaking about commentary, I am actually. I'm in Japan right now for Dragon Gate. I'm one of the English commentary team for the Dragon Gate network.
Nice, right.
So
right.
if you're on YouTube and we click like English commentary, we can hear your voice.
Yes, it is. Since 2020, I am part of the English commentary team. So I am those kind of color commentary guy. So
you're the perfect person to tell us your thoughts on AEW commentary.
I actually did not watch a lot of AEW, to be very honest. I watch more WWE than I'm more a Vince guy than
Speaking of which, yes, we will get to the Vince stuff in just a bit. But let's move on with this Death Before Dishonor card. Interestingly enough, also, I read a random fact, right? This is the first pay-per-view that is quote-unquote the Tony Khan era Ring of Honor. The previous one, Supercard, was already set, but they bought it, so it still had like the old Ring of Honor fingerprints on it. This one, full on Tony Khan. So just an interesting note. This is where the company is gonna go moving forward with Tony Khan's sort of full involvement in this one. Next, we have Dalton Castle and the Boys versus the Righteous. Yeah, I this was my toilet break. I'm sorry. And because they have a trios title, a 6-man tag title, whatever it is, and I'm sorry, I can't get behind the whole 6-man tag title scene. It's just too many titles.
I can't get behind Dalton Castle. I mean, I do not know him personally. I mean, he just reminds me too much of Orlando Jordan and like the whole weird,
flamboyant,
I'm very flamboyant. Hey, I'm an ally. I'm cool with all of them, but I don't know. Like, I feel that this is such a trope that is too stereotypical. I think the Velveteen Dream did it the best in a modern sensibility.
Okay.
But this one, like pretty deadly in NXT 2.0. Also, like really,
Right. Tovakin said at least they don't go all chicken pasta salad like Excalibur. Okay, what he means is, when Excalibur previews the next show and and he like says everything in like machine gun speed.
Yes.
They tried to make Riccaboni do it, and Riccaboni, poor thing, he doesn't have that in his arsenal, so you could tell he was trying to because they're forcing him faster. Preview the next show. You can tell, and he's just like trying to spit it all out. But
oh my gosh, I hope they don't do that to you in Dragon Gate, Ho Lun.
No, they don't. They might do that to the Japanese one though.
Right. But maybe. You see, that's my thing. Like, that is a very much, I think, Tony Khan-esque fingerprint on the product. You see where I'm going with that?
Yes, I think he's all about promotion and trying to put as much eyes to the next show.
He thinks
Yeah.
because you know he is like Mr. holding a cup of coffee, probably high on coffee all the time, right? So that probably suits him. He's like, oh yeah, I like this style because it's info because he's such a stat and info guy, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But again, like I think the best thing about Riccoboni and Caprice, right? Their commentary is very measured. They are not
Yes.
rushing in the commentary.
They're telling stories. They're not spitting out 1,000,001 facts and stats that nobody cares about.
Yes.
That's what makes wrestling special, right? The stories, telling the story of working the leg or working the arm, or this fella's back injury, or he's susceptible to strikes, whatever.
Yeah, Ring of Honor, I think this show, especially because it's my first time watching it like throughout, really reminded me of NXT, the old school NXT Black and Gold, where it was very focused on the match, the work rate, right? But also like great at telling the story. So did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Let's move on to Wheeler Yuta, the pure wrestling champion versus Daniel Garcia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Young, the pure rules, right? I need some help explaining to me because I tried to watch the match with the rules and I know they use the rules to tell the story.
Yes.
But man, it's so confusing.
It's a lot of rules, right? They
For me, it's also very confusing. There's like 3 judges on the side. I don't know what the judge is for.
Or like if they go to a draw, or if like you can only, I think it's 3 rope breaks max. So after the 3rd rope break, the ref won't break the rope. You're screwed, right? So they didn't play with that in this match. There was only 1 rope break, I believe.
Yeah, and then they also apparently banned strikes. So they can only do open palm, which
so
they really took advantage of that.
Yeah, so you can slap each other to no end, but you cannot, punch. Yeah. Irvin says, I still don't know the hype for Daniel Garcia. Look, I think that they both put on a good show for what it was. Wrestling-wise, it's just when you watch them, you really sort of go, okay, these are guys who have potential to be future stars. They are not there yet, but this is the sort of their showcase here right now.
Yeah, I like Wheeler Yuta. I think especially since he's been under the BCC, I'm guessing legitimately he's training with his colleagues there.
Steve Blackman 2.0. Yes, go on.
Yes, Steve Blackman 2.0. But
same beard.
I keep thinking he's like Mike. I keep thinking he's like Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park. I don't know why.
Also,
same vibe. But I think he's getting better, and I feel like I'm starting to dig his vibe.
Yeah.
Daniel Garcia somehow, I think they inadvertently make him feel like a babyface because they keep bringing up his car accident.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
But he kept flipping off like Ring of Honor, like, he's very disrespectful. He's all about being a sports entertainer, with the Jericho stuff. I feel like he showed more personality here than he's been portrayed in the past few weeks. What do you say?
Yeah, because I think AEW is too stacked, too loaded.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor gives him the space and like television time to breathe and tell his story. So I kind of like the story going into this match where if Daniel Garcia wins, he's going to take the title and bring it to AEW and show it off in AEW.
He said he was going to destroy it and smash it into little pieces, which was great. Like his acting is, Irvin says he's acting very bad, but at least he has some leeway to do stuff right. Back on Dynamite with Jericho and the rest, he sort of just fades into the background and does nothing. So I actually like this spot with him and Wheeler Yuta here, sort of like, at least they have time to grow.
Honestly, I like the BCC's presence in ROH. Like now they got Claudio as a champion and they got Wheeler as pure champion.
You saw what happened at the end, right? And we'll get to that. Yeah, in just a little while. Let's move on. Oh, William Regal was on commentary once again, and I think William Regal, I don't want him to be on commentary too much. He should be a special attraction only for BCC matches. And because it's now a treat to have him there.
Yes.
I remember when he was on commentary every week for NXT, like way back when, it didn't feel special for some reason because he was there every week, right?
Yeah. Like let Nigel McGuinness do that. That reminds me. So William Regal was a well-known trainer, established trainer in NXT. So Ho Ho Lun, did you manage to actually meet him there backstage and talk to him? Oops. Right at that moment.
We broke the internet with that one. Like, he looked so shocked.
He got scarred.
It froze right at the moment where he's like, William Regal. Okay, yeah, we will revisit this conversation once we get a connection with Ho Lun in just a little while. But
I don't know how to keep their face there.
I know, right? But thing, I feel bad now. I feel bad. Ho Lun, can you hear us?
And you see us.
Okay, you can't see us.
I'm looking through at the YouTube page, and it's so funny.
I don't know. Maybe this can be a meme. I feel bad, but yes. Hold on,
yes,
if you can hear us. Okay, we're a little bit frozen on your end, but it's okay.
Yeah, we will power through. We will power through.
We'll power through.
William Regal, okay, we take note.
Yeah. In the meantime, let's move on. It's very distracting.
It's very distracting.
Okay, hang on. Let me do this. All right. We'll see if we get. Oh, I think we lost him.
Completely lost him, right?
Yeah. All right, hang on.
Does that mean I have to do this?
Yeah, I think you might have to do that for a little while. Okay. In the meantime, yeah, I think what happened was we lost him. He's dropped from the connection, but no worries. Tova King got shock face. He's like, Foreign, bro, you comfortable or not? You okay or not? You need me to fix this?
Very uncomfortable, bro.
Very uncomfortable. Okay, come. Let me fix this while we talk about the next match. All right. The last few AEWs, right? I've sort of not really paid attention to be honest.
Yeah.
So Rush or Rush or whatever the hell you want to call him. He had a match here with his brother, Dragon Lee. I had zero expectations going into this match.
Yeah. I thought this Dragon Lee is the same Dragon Lee that Ho Ho Lun was talking about, but it's not, right?
Different. Oh, okay, we got him back.
Oh,
hang on.
He's back. Wait. There you go. Hello. Hello.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, wait, I think you need to fix me again. So
yeah. No worries. I got you, fam. I got you.
Yeah. There you go. He's there, but he's not talking yet.
He's there, but he's frozen again.
No.
This is hilarious.
Poor guy.
You know what could fix this issue, by the way? You know what could fix this issue? If we had a really good spot. And maybe when he comes down to Singapore, we can find him a good spot, courtesy of our good friend, Nick Mutt.
Perfect time to do our sponsor plug, bro.
That's right. Let's do a sponsor plug. Nick Mutt, if you are looking, by the way, for property to buy, sell, or rent, Nick Mutt is the guy for you. A big shout out to him, by the way, a fellow wrestling fan as well, and a sponsor of the podcast, / sponsor, to find out more about him, okay? But let's tell you a little bit more about him, Foreign.
Yeah, man. Again, known wrestling fan, always at the SPW shows. He is a real estate professional. He loves wrestling, and he will help you get a house, sell a house, rent a place for work. So whatever you need for all your property needs, please give him a call. Please follow him. If you're a fan of the podcast, please follow him on his Instagram at 65roofs.
Yep.
At least have him in your back pocket, so next time you know who to contact. Tell him that Kick to the Gut sent you. He will be really, really cool. Perfect for you guys as well.
Heck yeah, and all you need to do right now is scan that QR code to get his contact, or take a screenshot right now, and boom, you can have him in your contacts. And yeah, like Foreign said, follow him on Instagram as well at 65roofs, so that you can not only keep up with him, if you want to talk about wrestling with him, also can, like we mentioned many times, he's a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah. It's so cool. Even Ho Ho Lun said that he remembers this photo of having Kenny Omega with him as well, Pete Dunne, aka Butch. So he did tell me, bro. He said feel free to check out the rest of his Instagram profile. He can send you more photos of himself in wrestling related poses. So you can do that as well.
Nice. In the meantime, though, I do believe we have Ho Lun back.
Hey.
Okay, hang on.
I'm so sorry about what happened, man.
It is what it is, right?
Can you hear us?
Okay, we can't hear him right now. Give me a second. Yeah.
We can't hear you.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, I was trying to find out what I have done with William Regal. That's why.
Yes.
I see.
You were so shocked that the internet just dropped when we mentioned William Regal.
Yeah.
No.
So I first met Mr. Regal. Well, I actually haven't met him first. He's the guy who rang me and give me the news that I am in the CWC. That was William Regal who personally called me.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Wow.
When you hear that voice speaking to you, what was your first reaction? Because I'm sure you grew up watching the WWE, WWF, right? That whole era. Oh, apparently Regal is the taboo subject. Every time we bring up Regal, he freezes.
He is on the podcast right now. He's listening in.
Yeah, Regal's like, no, can't have him talk about me. Irvin says Nick Matt was the agent that helped Undertaker buy his yacht, and AJ Styles and Paige buy their house. I love it. The memes, carry the memes on.
The memes has begun.
Let's go.
Bro, he's the one. Bro, he's the one that did the House of Horrors match, bro. Don't know, man.
Okay,
he rent out the space.
I don't know if that's a connection we want to make with our man Nick Matt, but okay, yeah, but I'm sure it must be quite the rush to all of a sudden randomly hear a very English, very gruff voice of William Regal telling you, hello, would you like to? I can't do the William Regal voice.
Oh,
I'm
sure,
too posh.
I mean, the BCC stuff has been great, but sometimes you almost forget that actually William Regal is a very important part of NXT all the way until right now. Ooh,
there we go. I think we lost him again. No worries. Let me shout out to folk in chat, by the way. Mighty Mighty, is good to see you. Oh, yes. Wait. Mighty Mighty is known as Big T now, is it? Or is it just what some T?
Yes, he is known as Big T.
Big T, yes. Well, we'll get to the SPW stuff in just a little while. Hang on. While we talk about Rush versus Dragon Lee, let's carry on with that conversation.
Yes, correct.
What do you think of the match, my man?
Well, first of all, I kind of knew that Rush and Dragon Lee were brothers. I did my own research on them, so I know that they it's like a actual Undertaker versus Kane kind of dynamic that they have back in Mexico. So
sure.
First time watching both of them fighting in the ring though. So no idea what's the storyline because I didn't know that they were feuding.
Well,
maybe they had a thing.
I guess that's the beauty of Ring of Honor, right? Like, technically, you don't need to feud over anything. You can just go in and have a competitive match and, like handshake, code of honor, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
That's the whole deal with the Ring of Honor. Did you enjoy the match?
Yes, I did. But again, like, I just do not know them. So it's like no brand familiarity. I wish there was. Oh, okay. There you go.
There he went.
There he goes.
There he goes again.
I switch it to my phone now. I hope it doesn't cut it off itself. My computer probably is a fan of Mr. Regal. It just gets so excited and cut himself off.
Yeah, your computer marked out at the sound of Regal. So okay, let's jump back to that phone call that you got from William Regal. How did you feel at that moment?
Yeah, it just feels exactly as the TV is the same voice in a personal phone call as in the TV character.
Right. Nice.
So it's quite excited, although I already know I am part of CWC from the email that we contact for, but having Mr. Regal to call me personally is such an honor, such a privilege to have him talk to me on the phone and, you're invited to come to join the Cruiserweight Classic.
Well, is that your English accent? You tried. Okay, do you get to meet him in person once you were there though, in Orlando?
Yes, it is. I actually met him first in a tryout in Shanghai back in 2015 or 16, I can't remember. So he and Matt Bloom came to China for the tryout, which I was there. But the moment I was there, I already got contact about the CWC. So that tryout, I think, is for NXT or something. I don't know, but maybe that's the tryout that give me, an extension after CWC for NXT. I don't know what the reason is, but I was in tryout. I met him there. He was very nice because the tryout that I went to was very different from the Andrew Tang Texas tryout that they went in 2019. Because 2019 tryout, there was a lot of candidate with wrestling background. We got people from Philippines. We got the Bad Company from Thailand, right? So they all have wrestling background. But the tryout that I went to, it's me, Jason Lee, and Bidman, who's from Hong Kong. It's only 3 of us have wrestling background, and the rest of them have, background in kickboxing, in bodybuilding, so they know nothing about wrestling. So So the focus of that tryout is more into the non-wrestling side. So day one is more like a physical conditioning stuff, and day two is to let them do all this wrestling drill where it takes a lot of time for them. Where for me and the two other Hong Kong dudes, we were there and we were like, we've been doing this for a few years. So Mr. Rico was so nice that he praised me on you've got very I can't remember the exact word that he used, but he's just saying good thing about me, which I feel happy from my inside, but I can't show in my face.
You have to no-sell it a bit, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, that was quite a good experience. And then when I was there in America, he's there all the time. He's not there do the day-to-day training lah. I train with one of his best mate from the UK, which is Ruby Brookside. I train with him a lot.
Nice, Brookside, yeah.
And I start actual wrestling in the UK, so I actually with the UK style I'm quite familiar with, and then
Nice. I can imagine. Okay, Tovakin says, by the way, in chat, imagine Regal going, "You've been invited to War Games." I don't know if that is something that happened, but still, that would have been amazing. Shall we move on with this card?
Yes, we should.
Okay, Rouge, Dragon Lee. It was a very lucha match.
For sure.
I mean, it was pretty brutal. Like, it looked brutal, not like it was bad brutal, but it looked brutal. But it's not my kind of match, so
yeah, I agree. Just to double confirm, this Dragon Lee facing against Rouge is not the Dragon Lee that went to the tryouts with you, right, Ho Ho Lun?
No lah. This is a luchador guy.
Yeah, this is a luchador guy. I haven't met any Dragon Lee.
Okay. It's not the same. It's not the same. Just to be confirmed.
Yeah, a different guy.
That is Jason Lee. This is Dragon Lee. Not related. Huh?
Not the same Lee. One is Chinese Lee and one is a Mexican Lee.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mercedes Martinez, the women's champion, versus Serena Deeb.
Yes. You know what? I actually enjoyed this match. Yeah. I actually sat through it and watched it, and it's nice to have two female pros fighting.
Yeah. It's just that, and I agree with you, right? It was a well-wrestled match. The thing is, the crowd was kind of dead because they had to follow a hard-hitting, high-flying lucha match, right? And this was the complete opposite. This is like slow and methodical. It's not everybody's cup of tea. And like, technically, is Mercedes a face or a heel?
Yeah, that's the thing, because she wrestles like a heel, but she's also like a de facto face.
Yeah, and Serena Deeb is a heel also, but she's well respected. So it's like two very non-committal, I guess is the word, non-committal characters. So it's hard to take a side, right?
Yeah. Very weirdly, do you see the crowd reaction? The crowd really wanted Serena Deeb to win.
Yeah. I think it's a respect thing with that Ring of Honor crowd and AEW crowd.
Yeah, but I think Serena Deeb deserves a good spot because she's been making other people look good, but she hasn't been champion in AEW or Ring of Honor in this case.
Yeah, that's right. Then, okay, let's move on then to the World Television Championship. Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. Actually, hold on. During your time at NXT, did you run into Samoa Joe or was that before he came in?
Yes, we actually there at the same time, 2006, 2017. He's very serious in the ring, but in the backstage, he's such a funny guy. He tells jokes all the time. He has his smile on his face all the time. So he's such a
nice.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of assume it because like the way he is on commentary, you can tell that he has a lot of funny things to say.
Fun-loving guy.
It's just sad though. Like he had that spell on Raw, and I'm not sure if you watched during that period where he was the commentator on Raw, Ho Lun, but I thought he did fantastic. Don't you?
I didn't watch that.
Oh, okay. You were watching the product
right
at the time.
At the start of the pandemic, like 2020. It's quite involved.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that now.
Okay.
It's so long. It's only for a couple of months, I think.
Yeah.
He was famously memed because remember the WrestleMania 37 when it started to rain just as WrestleMania was about to start?
Oh, yeah.
He had to wear the poncho with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, I mean,
But-
he's back here defending the ROH World Television Championship against Jay Lethal in one of the strangest feud build-ups ever, because he wasn't even on a video. It was like his friends speaking up for him. He wasn't even a part of the feud, which was just very weird to me.
Yeah, he wasn't on television for a couple of months. So I don't know whether it's an injury thing.
But but we talked about this last week, what? Even if it was an injury thing, he can film himself and then they can play the video and then you cut a promo, right? But no, literally no sight, no sound of him. It was Christopher Daniels cutting promos for Samoa Joe. Like, that was very strange to me. And then he had a match with Jay Lethal. Obviously Samoa Joe is a pro. He's a veteran as well. Jay Lethal, I want to see more of Jay Lethal. You know, like
Yeah, no, it's weird because Jay Lethal was like one of like the stalwarts, cornerstones of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Then of course he left that to go to AEW, and then AEW purchased Ring of Honor. Now he's back where he began,
and he's still losing.
Yeah, it's tough lah. And of course they're trying to build in the whole Satnam Singh as like this enforcer guy. Of course he got involved in the match, but bro, very tough lah. Samoa Joe has slowed down a lot in the ring.
Well, I mean, I feel like they're doing Jay Lethal very dirty here. The second he got into AEW, he's been losing. Now he has two, lackeys by his side, also still lose. Like, he has a Sanjay Dutt, he has a giant, like, towering man. He still can't beat Samoa Joe. So it's like, what do I expect him to? Who do I expect him to beat? Nobody.
Yeah, but I think, like, all things concerned, I think Samoa Joe in Ring of Honor is a good spot for him to be in.
Sure.
Because honestly, I don't see him competing like at a high level, like for the main event stuff in AEW anymore. I think it's past his time, unfortunately. So let him help build the new generation. Like, do what he was supposed to do in NXT. Remember when NXT came back?
Yep.
Or he's supposed to build up the new generation. I think he can do that for Ring of Honor as well.
Agreed. Yeah, the match was all right. It was one of the shorter matches, actually, which is kind of sad considering we all wanted to see more of Samoa Joe, right?
Yeah, let's hope there's more of him. If Ring of Honor has a weekly television show once more, that will help a lot with the situation. All
right, let's get to the main event then. 2 out of 3 falls. I think this is the match everybody bought the pay-per-view for.
Yes.
FTR versus the Briscoes. Ho Lun, did you watch the first time they fought on Supercard of Honor?
I only watch it a little bit on Twitter, so I only the highlight video.
Do you have any personal experience with either the Briscoe brothers or FTR Revival?
Briscoe brother, I don't, but Revival, yes. We were in NXT for the same at the same time. Well, actually, they were in NXT for a longer time. They were there for like 5-6 years before they moved to SmackDown. Is it?
Raw and SmackDown, yeah.
So they were called the Revival. They were already so good on the tag team wrestling there. They were always in a tag team match. They never do like a single match. All the matches done in this tag team match. And it is very, purely American, traditional American style tag team match, which, I enjoy watching it. The heel work that they do is really heel. You were talking about the women's match where they were supposed to be heel, but they look face,
Yeah.
I think, at my, I've been watching wrestling for a very long time. The only person that can do it is Stone Cold Steve Austin, who supposed to be a heel, but everybody likes him. And a lot of people in the wrestling business nowadays, they want to be a heel, but at the same time, they also want to be liked. So it's only a Stone Cold thing, I think. But Revival is a purely heel, and they don't need people to like them. And that's why they're so good.
We've actually experienced firsthand their heel tactics, me and Young, because when WWE came to Singapore in 2019, they did a live show here, right? They were wrestling a low-cut match. Like, it wasn't like a marquee match at the indoor stadium. I think they were fighting against Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
That's right.
But the Revival was actually the most over act on the show, just purely from their heel antics. They went around to the audience, interacted with them. They almost teased a fight with Mr. Young because we were on the ringside.
Yeah, we were front row. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was so cool because I feel like you said, they were really good as heels, especially in 2016 NXT, because I think that was the time where they had a great series with American Alpha.
Yes.
I think a couple of the guys, I think Gargano, I think DIY, when they were still a face,
Yeah.
they were great opponents for the Revival then. And it's so crazy because you remember them as a great heel tag team, and now they are one of the most over babyface tag teams in all of wrestling right now. So
Well, I think it's very clear they get the business. They know what they are there to do, and they're not trying to, like up their social media game or be cool. They're just there to, play their roles, right? If they're face, they're face. If they're heel, and they're not trying to just be cool.
yeah, even as faces,
The beauty of the house show where can go into the crowd and do a fight with one of the crowd member who is Mr. Young, and then they position themselves very good. Like if they're face, they don't do heel shit.
No.
If they're heel, they're not trying to gain a few likes. They don't.
Yeah.
So they're very good at that. To keep their character alive.
Have you had to play heel before, actually?
In Philippines I did. But the rest of the shows, they put me as a face all the time.
Did you enjoy the time you spent as a heel?
I actually enjoy being a heel more than being a face. Especially in Philippines. Did you watch my Philippine match? That was really funny. If I have time to explain about it. So Philippine people, they don't like Chinese people much.
Oh,
so
is it?
As evil, the most evil Chinese person that they can ever have, and I go there and raises all the Filipino.
Oh my god! Oh, okay. Wait, who were you facing? Who was the good guy Filipino?
I was facing I was doing a few matches with Robin Sane. I did a match with. I did like 3 matches with Robin Sane. He's the top face over there. But I do all the racist shit in the ring, and then even the promoter say, "Oh, you better go straight back to the dressing room right after your match. They're gonna really beat you up."
Oh my gosh. That was that scary for you, or did you actually was like, wow, I'm doing my job very well?
Yeah. I actually. So there's one match. There's a Philippine flag on the stage, and I'm trying to raise the flag, and then there's a real security guard coming. Ho, you're not gonna do that. It's a real security guard or what? But that looks really scary.
Oh my god! This seems like
the fact, but then wow, that's really scary.
Reminds me of when Chris Jericho actually got into trouble in Brazil. Do you guys remember this story?
Yeah.
I remember this. He was doing a Brazil flag, and then he got to fly out straight away after the show, right?
Yeah. Because I think he kicked the flag, or he just disrespected it somehow. And he had to apologize because like the Brazilians there, they don't play around. They will.
No, they don't.
They screw you up.
Yeah, they are very nationalistic. Or reminds you of when remember when Shawn Michaels had the Canadian flag up his nose?
Oh my god, classic.
Well, how did he get away with that stuff, man? Not in 2022.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy, right, Ho Lun? Like for you, playing a heel is probably like one of the rare times. But what do you think makes a good babyface then? Since you've been doing a babyface character for most of your career.
I don't know. Probably my look and the haircut. I will never. I remember when I was in the UK. That was 2013. So, hey, Ho, can you do heel? That's the promoter asking me, and then his partner straight away say this like, "Look at his face. He can't be a heel." My face can't be a heel. I don't know.
Babyface. Maybe
literally babyface.
The Guts B hairstyle. That's why.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's come back to this match. 2 out of 3 falls, tag team match for the ROH World Tag Team Championships. I mean, honestly, I don't need to go into it too much. I think everyone should just watch this match because it was great. It's tag team wrestling at its best. I know they're like, oh wow, this is, look at the state of tag team wrestling, but it's just 2 teams. That's the thing. And yes, you can start an entire tag team revolution with just two teams. I mean, remember the Hardys and Edge and Christian, and then after that you had the Dudleys. Hopefully, and I don't know if this is, on the cards, because let's face it, over on the AEW side, the tag team division is like, what's going on, But FTR and the Briscoes, this should end it for them. Like 2 out of 3 falls, right? That's it.
Yeah. The Briscoes, I hear there's some stories that they can't go on Warner or can't go on AEW television because of some issues that they had in the past.
Some tweets I think they sent out that might be perceived by, I guess, the woke crowd as, offensive.
Yeah. So, like, you look at them, like they are from the South, lah. But
yeah.
But it's not a bad thing. I think it adds a lot to their character, their look, right?
Like the second you see them, you scare already. Like they have a look, you know what I mean? And then of course they get put up against FTR, and it's like, they don't need to go like 1,000 miles per second. It's good stuff, man. It's just such a good match.
Yeah, and I think here's my theory, right? It's like hold
on. Is it in Austin?
No, it's just a theory. Which is what he is right now anyway. Don't you think this is a test run by Tony Khan, right? To see whether a tag team match can close out a main event of a pay-per-view before he does it in AEW?
I guess. But okay, well, then who's he going to do it on AEW with?
Well,
the Young Bucks?
Clearly, they're going to do that.
Swerve in our glory. Like, there's nobody on the Dynamite roster right now that I would, consider somebody that could close out a pay-per-view. But FTR, they're so damn over. Even on Dynamite, people are chanting for FTR, and well, they just don't get it.
Yeah, you've clearly, by the pop in Death Before Dishonor, they were so over. And I think, right, like now that they retained the ROH title, right?
Yeah.
For now, they will probably defend ROH titles on AEW as well. Like, until they have their own show, I think that's when they will drop the title back to a homegrown team that they can, carry on the flag, lah.
I hope they have their own television deal soon, so that at least we get that separation and not this 6:30 half builds on AEW Dynamite that we've seen in the past couple of weeks and whatever. I always say this. I always say this. The less I want to talk about a match, the better it was. So that's why I don't really have too much to say. Just go and watch the damn match. It was so good.
Yeah, I don't know whether you watched the media scrum, because I think I need to watch it. That may give some clues of what's the future of Ring of Honor going forward. And of course, we wanted to talk about it at the end of the match when FTR was celebrating. The Blackpool Combat Club came out. So William Regal came out, Claudio with his new title, Wheeler Yuta with his title. So they are teasing some sort of clash of champions in Ring of Honor going on.
I don't know if it's a clash or like, all right, let's wrestle, and then after that they join forces, which would be amazing for Dynamite. Like, imagine a Blackpool Combat Club with all the ROH belts.
Yes. So the future of Ring of Honor looks quite bright. I mean, overall, bro, like, this is my first time watching a full Ring of Honor show. What's your thoughts on it?
To me, though, it still feels like a 2-match card at this point. Like, I enjoy FTR. I really wanted to see Claudio versus Jonathan, even though I feel like it was a bit of a letdown, even though it was a well-wrestled match. And then now knowing the whole, Gresham wanted to leave, that's why there was like basically nothing. There's no build after this. Like, he dropped the belt so that he probably can go after this, know?
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think overall it was a good first impression. It's still different enough from AEW to not make it too similar to AEW. Do you agree? Or
yes, but there are a lot of Tony Khanisms already. And I'm just afraid that at some point it's just the two shall merge and become just a different brand. I hope moving forward, right, it becomes like NXT, Raw, SmackDown, same but different, and then they can cross-pollinate once in a while. And once a year you have your ROH versus AEW cards. There you go.
I would love
Forbidden
that.
Door.
Because WWE managed to do that with NXT, make it very different from the main roster show. So let's hope they can do the same thing.
Also, what that means is you don't have to worry about having that working relationship with New Japan. If the whole New Japan thing falls apart, at least you can still do AEW versus ROH Forbidden Door every single year.
Yeah, that's why I think it's like a good combination for both Tony Khan to have with AEW and Ring of Honor, and AEW and New Japan. So that's a great partnership.
Absolutely. Okay, before we jump into the rest of the stuff though, Ho Lun, so August 11th, 12th, and 13th, right? Those are the dates?
12, 13, and 14.
Oh, 12th, 11th is when you come to Singapore, right? Got you. Hopefully you have time to go around, have some makan, food, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
planning any sightseeing?
I've seen enough sight of Singapore, but food, I love it.
All right.
All right. Quick one. Favorite go-to food in Singapore where every time you come, you must always try it. Sorry?
Chicken rice all the time.
Ah,
Yes.
of course.
I just had roasted chicken rice for lunch. A fun fact.
Roasted, I like the white one.
Oh, steamed chicken rice.
Yeah, steamed chicken.
Interesting. Okay, so before we move on to the next thing, right? Oh, once again, guys, if you want to know more about the seminar, the wrestling seminar that Ho Lun is doing, please go and check out his Instagram account. What's your Instagram? Plug your Instagram account one more time.
Instagram account is Ho Ho Lun 719 HOHOLUN 719. And if you are training with a certain wrestling school in Singapore, you can contact either SPW with Mr. Andrew Tang or Mr. Eurasian Dragon from ROR or Grapple Max.
There you go.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Perfect time to move on to the WWE stuff right now.
Really? You don't want to do the SPW stuff first?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Since we talk about SPW, might as well we just run through.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you know Ho Lun over the weekend they actually had a show?
I
SPW?
know they have a show. I also only watch clips on Instagram. Were you on live audience, both of you?
I tried because as you know, Singapore we have conscript army. So I just came out from camp.
Yeah, and I was working the evening as well, so unfortunately we didn't get to go. But thankfully, members of the audience, on our Discord,
community.
our community, they were sharing the results and everything, and we got to get a glimpse of it as well. We did receive some clips as well. So, once again, SPW sounds like
the similar amount of SPW clip, right?
yeah, probably. So first of all, we wish we were there because it looks like it was one of those events that blew the roof off the place again.
Yeah. And of course, we're gonna run through like some of the results, and we were hoping to get your opinion and some thoughts on some of the wrestlers as well. From the show. Okay. So yeah, first match. Let's pull up the results right
Yeah,
here.
I have the results in front of me. Big T versus Riz. That one ended in a double count out after some back and forth. Okay, there was $1,000 involved here. Do you know the story behind this one? Yeah.
Okay, so apparently Big T is apparently Mighty, formerly known as Mighty.
Yeah.
If you've seen him recently, Ho Ho Lun, he has lost a ton of weight. He's looking very, very svelte. Yeah, he looks good. He's almost a cruiserweight. Not yet, but almost. So the current storyline ongoing is I think he's under the command of Mr. Andrew Tang. So he's forced to do his bidding. So I think he faced this guy who's supposedly a homeless character, Riz, new guy. And the funniest thing I saw from the clip of the match was the crowd was chanting BTO. BTO. Okay.
Oh.
Some context. BTO in Singapore is when when you get married, you want to buy a house
A flat.
as a
Yeah,
married
it's
couple.
a new flat, basically.
Yeah, public housing. So that's why they always say when you get married, you buy yourself a BTO.
Yeah, it's a build to order flat. Big T says, "What? Don't believe ah."
He is on the chat right now, Mighty.
That's right.
So you
That's
can
right.
Say hi
So-
to him as well if you want.
Yeah. Offer some context if you would. What happened with the $1,000? Why did you offer $1,000 to him? Because you didn't have a match on the card, and that's why you offered $1,000 to fight. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's the context, but what happened was the match ended in like a double count out because this homeless guy ran out of the ring and Big T actually chased him out, and referee Sodic counted him out, and he came back. He was really pissed off, and what he did was he actually attacked the referee. He pushed Sodic to the ground, and like a heel shoot, right?
Right. Interesting.
So who came that $1,000?
We had no idea. We have no idea what's the mystery of the $1,000. What happened to that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the last time we would see Big T because, he does come back a little bit later on, and we'll get to that match in just a bit, right? Okay. Big Good Jack, Destroyer Dharma versus Onisuka and Sima. Have you had any interaction with the Strong Hearts group?
No, we did. We are basically competitors in Japan, so wrestle each other. I met Mr. Shima a few times back in many years ago. Maybe in Singapore or in I can't remember where, but we met a few times, but we never wrestled, And in Japan, we
Oh.
work together because we're competitors.
Oh, no. So it's Dragon Gate competitors with New Japan, I'm guessing, yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. But again, Strong Hearts has come to Singapore quite regularly. Sima is of course a legend in the business. And I think he in this tag team match, the guy that's with him he's like protege or one of his new students.
Yep.
So do not know much about this guy. What's his name?
Onisuka.
Onisuka, yeah.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is on the Singapore side, we had Big Good Jack and Destroyer Dharma teaming up together because they've always been on opposite ends as rivals. So now we have these two heavyweights teaming up together in this one-off match to defend Singapore's home front against these Japanese wrestlers. Do you have any thoughts on Destroyer Dharma and Big Good Jack as wrestlers? Have you seen them? Your thoughts on
I
them?
have never met them. I think they've joined SPW like the recent 2-3 years. But Destroyer Dharma, oh my God, his body is massive.
Yeah.
If I can just walk out and freak out everybody in the crowd, as well as the opponent. I don't want to wrestle him in the match. He's like so big, and I have to think of like new move to like fight against him, but I can't think of any.
Yeah. And he's gotten really, really good in the ring because when he first started out, of course, he was like a big muscular guy, so he wrestled like a heavyweight. But as a bigger size guy, we always talk about their footwork, whether it's good enough or technically whether they are sound in the ring. But now he has really managed to like sharpen up his skills, and he's not only a very intimidating competitor, but he's really has good ring work as well.
Yeah.
And the thing that I remember, he's always doing a sidewalk slam with both the opponent on each of his arm, and then boom. Wow.
That's very loud sound.
Yeah. And hopefully, you get to work with Big Good Jack as well when you do come down to Singapore. We've sung the praises of BGJ. Okay, that's going to take some getting used to, but we've sung the praises of BGJ before, and he definitely showed it in this match, right?
He was formerly of the Mighty Dragon family, so he was actually under the wing of Mr. Eurasian Dragon. They wrestled in a couple of tag teams together. I think, of course, this was after you weren't in Singapore yet. Afterwards. And he's like one of the very promising young wrestlers. He's a big size guy, so like a heavyweight size. He looks like what do you call it? Bad Company a bit, like his size. Yeah. So somebody to keep an eye on.
By the way, Big T has given us some context to his whole situation. He made me malu because he beat me last month, and I was waiting for him to challenge him, so I offered him money, and he didn't reply me until that day when I had to threaten a young boy. He ran away with my money, says Big T.
So we are having some loan shark situations here in Singapore.
It's $1,000 on a pole match next, maybe. No. Because as we will see later on, there's bigger and better things for Big T on the way.
Don't worry, Ho, you can clarify with him when you meet him at the seminar next few weeks.
Yeah, I'll need $1,000 as well.
Yeah, you need the money, right?
I love the Big Good Jack clothesline. I guess that's his finisher. I believe Onisuka was the one who took the pin. He really sold that clothesline. Like, good God, man.
I watched a couple of minutes of the clip, and Sima, of course, did a great job, keeping the match together. So I think he was like the guy like leading through the match, and it's so cool to see these Japanese wrestlers, their style clash with like a heavyweight style from them, because they wrestle Japanese technical strong style, but the two Singapore wrestlers wrestle like very classic American heavyweight style. So it was a cool clash.
I think if there's one thing I could nitpick was the ending, and because like the footage I saw was like hard cam footage, right? So basically it was something that, if you were on the other side, maybe you wouldn't have noticed this, but I noticed this. Like, because it was a tag team match, you had the finisher and you had Destroyer Dharma holding back Sima so he couldn't make the save, correct? The thing is, he was holding him back before the finisher happened. So, that's a bit of a timing issue for me. Like, it would have been best if Sima made the save as the Big Jack went for the pin. as opposed to before the finisher even happens. So you had this weird, awkward situation where Destroyer Dama is holding on to Sima for like a good 15 seconds before the pin even happens. Yeah. So that was my one nitpick about that.
Yeah, but again, like, small timing issues. I think Big Good Jack have a great future. We've talked about it. Even last week, Statement was on the show.
Yeah.
And he said that he's one of like the wrestlers to look out for in SPW in the coming years.
Yeah. Talking about somebody to look out for in the coming years. Okay, it's quite obvious that they have big things planned for CK Vin. I would like to, first of all, say maybe he needs to get new ring gear, but I don't know if that's his gimmick or whatever the deal is. But yes, Butcherman versus CK Vin for the first ever last man standing match in SPW.
Oh, is there a match like this? I didn't aware that.
Yes.
I heard about this CK Vin for a long time when I look it up on SPW Instagram. Sometimes they post up training videos, and I was talking to Andrew Tang, like, this guy is so good. What is his name? His name is CK Vin. So, did he have a match yet? Yes, but not a lot. So I still didn't have a chance to watch a match of CK Vin yet. But since you've said that, I this match.
Well, okay, like Ho Lun, you'd say that you have like that baby face, right? Like when we look at Ho Lun, it's all right. This guy's obviously a baby face. CK Vin is the exact opposite. When you look at him, you immediately think heel. Look at his face. He's a heel.
He looks like, some people give a very good comparison. He looked like Dante Chan's evil twin. He got the Dante Chan face, but a smaller, more evil version of him. Like if it's not Scooby-Doo, it's Scrappy-Doo,
What the heck, bro? Who came out with that?
I've got some people DMing me talking about it. But very interestingly, so if you're not aware, Ho Ho Lun, he was actually during the pandemic, he was actually teaming up with the Butcherman. With Butcherman. So he was like his mentee, like student of Butcherman. But on the last show, when SPW had a homecoming, he actually turned on him and attacked him with a steel chair. And stole his... He stole the SPW Singapore title from Butcherman, and this led to this match where they had a last man standing match for the, if I'm not wrong, the Singapore title, right, Mr. Young?
Yes. Do you think that they went to, this escalated quickly, they went to a last man standing match way too soon on this?
Could have had a match before that, like an in-between match, right?
Yeah.
At least like one-off match.
Like the last man standing match is supposed to be a blow-off match, right? And I get that they had their whole, situation but then again, their whole storyline was they were friends during the pandemic era. Yeah. And then the backstab only happened at the last event. So from the last event, which was when?
Last month.
Yeah, last month to now, all of a sudden we're at last man standing. I was like, that escalated quickly.
Bit too soon.
See, my whole thing is I feel like there are way more legs to this. Like there's more that I think we can see from CK Vin because we've talked about it. He has the natural heel heat. He's good enough in the ring. Maybe he needs more ring time. So that's why I was like, oh, are they trying to hide his greenness by making it more of a quote unquote hardcore match style?
Yeah. It's a very interesting dynamic. A fair question as well from you. This match, basically Butcherman beat him, right?
He beat the crap. Well, okay, and this was the fun part for the SPW faithful. Dr. Gore made his return.
Dr. Gore, our arch nemesis, Dr. Gore.
Our good friend, yes. Shout out to Dr. Gore, by the way. I hope he's doing well. But yeah, so he came out to make a bit of a save because I think at a point he had him tied up or chained up in the ring post, and Dr. Gore basically freed Butcherman. And of course, to a pop. The SPW audience knows the horror. Were they called the horrors?
Yeah, horrors.
The horrors. Yeah. So,
do you see on social media there was like welts behind Butcherman's back? I think he.
Yeah. Did you see what they put each other through? My God.
Yeah, it was crazy. Ho Ho, do you have any interactions with Butcherman or Dr. Gore or the horrors during that time?
Butcherman, maybe not, but Dr. Gore, I think he's in SPW for a longer time, and we didn't have a match before, but we trained quite a few times together. Dr. Gore is, he's very good on the wrestling, the basic. I think he's amongst the first or second generation of SPW wrestler, is he?
Yes, indeed, he was. Butcherman,
Yeah,
I think
very
he's
good, and his character, Dr. Gore, it's so believable. And then he wear his mask. Mask back in the time is only worn by those crazy people. Like regular people won't wear a mask. And then he got a really the eyes, the
Yes.
scary eyes, with the mask on and with all the dirt on his surgical, the surgical, how do you call that? Surgical
Scrubs.
clothes.
Yeah.
Scrub.
Yeah, and the blood was
I
so
won-
believable. It's so scary.
I wonder if that's exactly why he decided to change the surgical scrubs a little bit, because now I don't know if you remember, if you noticed this, he's wearing his scrubs. The mask, like you mentioned, very common. Everybody's wearing a mask now, so he has like a shape of a skeleton drawn on his scrubs as well. So it's a different look, lah.
Yeah, so that I don't know whether this signals the return of him because he's been away from wrestling for a couple of years. He got some major injuries, so. Yeah. So I think whether it's the knee, I can't remember, but somewhere in the legs. But he was away from wrestling for a while, and the whole of pandemic, we didn't keep in touch with him. So I'm guessing he's making his return to SPW.
I don't know. It could be a one-off because he and Butcherman are wrestling for setup, I believe, as a tag team. So I don't know if this is a one-off or if this is a sign of things to come. But I do know that they are doing a tag team match soon. So maybe this is like, all right, let's bring him back together, at least for the SPW fans. Yeah.
COVID-19 is over because he's too busy treating his patient during the COVID-19 days.
That could be it.
He was being a medical hero, taking care of the.
There you go. Okay, so we cut to the end of the match. The Barrett barrage onto the stack of chairs, brutal end, right? And then, like I said, unfortunately, it feels like the end of this feud, which didn't seem like it lasted too long anyway, because Big T apparently is next in line for that Singapore Championship. He challenges the Butcherman, and that's going to happen because Butcherman accepted the challenge.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And of course, Big T as a heel against Butcherman as the face, which always used to be the opposite, remember?
Yeah. And now it's like, ooh, okay. And I wonder if this, connection with the statement and all that, how that's going to play out. We will see, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Next match, Black Arrow versus Sultan Singh.
Yes, so Sultan Singh from Great Khali's promotion,
Wrestling
right?
promotion, yeah.
Yes, can't remember what's the name. From India, based in India. So he's one of the wrestlers there, facing off against Black Arrow. Black Arrow is homegrown Singaporean wrestler. He's an Indian guy as well, but I think he was also in the earlier generation of the SPW. I'm not sure. You've seen him or you've met him before, right? Ho Lun?
Yeah, I met him all the time. He was already good when I think I was there in his first week of training. He was already good the day he came in. So I remember watching a clip from yesterday. It was like he's doing a moonsault from the top rope, right?
Yes.
I don't know who his opponent is because I only saw him boom and then it disappeared on the screen.
Yeah, naturally athletic guy. We've always thought of him that way as well. I think he took some time off from wrestling as well, and he came back. We got a lot of the wrestlers returning, especially since the pandemic started opening up. And there's gonna be regular shows in SPW, so it's good to see all these older generation SPW wrestlers coming back.
Exciting times. Okay, let's move on then. And okay, so remember last week when we did that interview with the statement, right? And then we talked about how Alexis Lee was going to address the tag team title scene together with Trickster as well as Bryson Blade. And we also mentioned that Kelly Kimberly. Now, she is in the Our Boys to Men movie. Not Our Boys to Men. Our Girls Go Army movie, right? And she's a social media star as well. And remember, I was like, okay, I don't want to spoil anything, but my guess is that she was gonna be to interfere. We said this off camera. I said this to Andrew as well. It's like she is probably the one who, kind of jumps into the ring and tags with Alexis. Who was right? Who called this shit?
I see you, fam. Of course you did.
Okay, like it made no sense that she was training and she was going to be there. Like obviously she's going to get involved, right?
Yeah. Very interestingly, so of course the context is Alexis Lee, well-known women's wrestler from Singapore. Basically, she's the last woman standing lah. She's like the only women wrestler that's wrestling regularly in SPW.
Yeah.
So she teamed up with
Nick.
Sergeant Nick back in the day. They were a great tag team. They actually was having a badass match with the Thai wrestlers from the previous show, but unfortunately he got injured. But lo and behold, Alexis Lee actually managed to win the titles or retain the titles by herself.
Yeah.
And of course, so in this show, she had to address like what is the future of the tag team championship since her long-time full-time partner is out of action indefinitely, right?
Yeah, and of course, then you had Kyle Black and Bryson Blade. They come out and do the whole just give us the titles. You're only one person. And they did the whole heel gimmick, taunting the crowd and everything, which was great. They beat up Alexis Lee. Visually, I mean, you see two guys beating up a girl. It's quite a visual, right? Like that's heel heat 101.
Yeah, one in Singapore, domestic abuse really.
Okay, yeah, and then they started taunting Kelly Kimberly. And that's when she was like, screw this shit, hits the ring. And then they have a full tag team match. Okay, this is where I scratch my head a little bit, right? Like, I don't know if the situation is, okay, she was just going to do one-off and then never do it again. If that's the case, okay, I get it. But I feel like with someone who is a star outside of the wrestling business, right? Couldn't this have been an opportunity to tease it? Have her have her come in, make the save first, establish them as, hey, we are friend, buddy, and then have the match, the next one as a bigger draw. What do you think?
Yeah, for context, Ho Ho Lun, so this Kelly Kimberly is quite a well-known actress in Singapore. So she starred in this Jack Neo movie about our Singapore Army. So she is like kind of friends with Statement. So she's been coming to the wrestling shows, and supporting the shows.
And she's famous also for being a martial artist as well. Like she does a lot of like,
in a promoter point of view, right?
Yeah.
SPW only can do one show every 1 or 2 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then since she has been an actor, has been a YouTube star, has been an internet star, if we build up, use like 3 shows to build this up, and then to put her in a match on the 4th show that she do, that will take like 8 months. And
right.
I'm not sure if the fans want to see the same shit for 8 months to see that happen. If SPW is doing like 1 show a week, of course we slowly build that, like using 4 shows to build that's only a month. But then the current situation, and that's the limitation about pro wrestling in Asia, is that we can't do show every week. And the show we do is every 2 months, and we don't want to keep this storyline for too long, because think about there's some conventional fans who only come here to watch the show once a month, once a year. And then I don't care what's happened the last show, what's going to happen the next show. I'm going to watch only 1 show, unless that's something that is very memorable to me. So I understand the point of view of SPW. I also understand your point of view, but we have to take a balance between what the real fans want and the limitation that we have as a promoter.
Yeah,
that's a very fair point. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But I, like you said, like the crowd definitely reacted to her. The crowd knew who she was, so the crowd got really. From the clips that I watched, the crowd were excited at the prospect of, oh wow, she's gonna be team up with Alexis Lee, and they're gonna face the 2 of them. So the match itself, what do you think of her? Did you manage to see some clips, Mr. Yap, on like how she performed?
Yeah. And go ahead, Ho Ho. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this match yet, but I've seen some training videos of Kimberly. She definitely has some kung fu kind of background. She's doing some action movie, so I think she's naturally comfortable in the ring. So just need to tune in a bit into the wrestling, the rhythm, the timing. She will be very good performer in SPW.
I mean, Alexis was, basically holding sort of that end of the bargain as far as the match is concerned. Like, she obviously is the seasoned vet, right? So it makes sense. You have the seasoned vet in there doing most of it. And also, she is the one who will get all the heat for when Kelly Kimberly comes in to, do the hot tag, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And I've always said this, it's very hard to make strikes look good in pro wrestling, but I think they managed to pull it off. So I don't know how snug some of the kicks were because they look quite snug, you know what I mean? So kudos to them. They pulled it off, I think.
Yeah, and of course, I think Singapore Pro Wrestling needs to continually build new stars.
Sure.
And hey, if they can get a well-known actress to be part of their roster, whether it's on a part-time basis, do a Logan Paul, why not, man? Why not, you know?
Absolutely. So, I think this is only, it only bodes well for SPW to have this, right? And yeah, the question is, will she continue to train or is it just a one-off? I guess we'll have to wait and see lah. The question is, are they the tag team champions or was this just a one-off? Like, actually, Nick and Alexis are still the tag team champions. I believe that is the case.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing that I hope they answer. You know what, Ho Ho Lun, you might actually see her at your seminar, man, because she seems to be taking the training seriously.
Yeah, talking about the seminar, talking about Alex's lead tag team partner, Nick, I think Nick is not the first time he's getting injured.
Yes.
So think about this, wrestling in Japan, wrestling in America, we wrestle like at least 10 matches a month.
Wow.
And it's very rare to hear some wrestler, injuries still happen, but it's not as often when it's in Singapore, you only do 5 matches a year and then you keep injured yourself. So the seminar itself will also focus on how to safety in the ring. This is my emphasis because, in Singapore wrestling, it's maybe only for hobby. So you do it once every 2 months. But here we do it as a full-time. If you got hurt, you're not getting paid for the next 2 months because you're not working. So we need to protect ourselves as well as protecting the opponent. That's the emphasis of the seminar as well.
Yeah, I think super important. And of course, we've talked a lot about injuries because the injury bug has hit even like in your North American companies like AEW, WWE, like especially with AEW and their style, like a lot of people are getting injured. And there's been a lot of talk about, are they doing too much? Like they're taking these crazy ass bumps on a weekly basis on TV, but yet they're only wrestling once or twice a month. So
I can give you a little secret about how the injury. We take bumps in the ring, but we've taken thousands of bumps since our training, since we first start into our training. One of the things that hurt us most is the travel. In America, you got to travel, like you got to drive 10 hours to go to the next city to do the match, and then you drive another 6 hours to go to the other town. You don't want to catch the plane because once you check in and then you wait for the plane to board, it's also another 2-3 hours, right? And the plane is always get late or get canceled, and then you mess up your next show. So a lot of American wrestler, or even we in Japan right now, we drive a lot, or we sit inside a bus, we sit inside a car, and that 6 hours sitting hurt the most.
Oh wow. It's probably terrible for the back, right? Lower back. Yeah.
It is. And then sometimes it's 6 hours. You wake up in the morning, you drive 6 hours into the show, and you straight away do the show, and your body is so stiff. You don't have time to do the warm-up, to do the stretching yet. Even stretching, you still feel the pain from your lower back before you step into the ring. So that's how injury happens.
Right.
What's the best way to combat this? Since you're traveling all the time, how do you minimize the effects?
Become very rich and you have your private jet.
Brock Lesnar is doing it right. His own private jet.
Randy Orton, private bus also.
There you go. Trickster is in the chat. He said, stiff kicks. That's all he has to say. Hey, poor thing lah, Trickster. You doing all right? You need some ice?
Yeah, man. We might not have ice here on the podcast, but we have a real estate agent. So if you need a place to go get your massage or what, you let him know. He will recommend all the places.
Massage. Yes, there you go. Nick Matt, exclamation mark sponsor, or just take a screenshot of his QR code. He's your guy if you need to buy, sell, and rent property. And you can just save his contact in case next time you might not need property now, but next time in the future you might need a fellow wrestling fan to look out for you. Huh?
Hold on, if you ever want to consider buying or renting property in Singapore, he's your guy. Okay.
I just scanned the QR code already, so
there you go. He knows what's up.
When you see the YouTube replay of this on our channel, please feel free to check it out.
Absolutely. Moving on. El Lindemann versus the Statement Andrew Tang, the G-Rex. There you go. The G-Rex Championship. El Lindemann picked up the win here. I'm actually kind of not surprised. Not because I doubted the statement, obviously, but, considering what is going on and what did pan out at the end, the visitors need to have a win also, right?
Yes. And also, very interestingly, do you know about this Japanese promotion that El Lindemann's titles from? I think it's like a new promotion.
Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm guessing it's still a new kids on the block, so they haven't really established it.
And I don't know why Andrew Tang have a gold medal of his body. I don't know what that means. It's just confused me. He lose the match and then he win a gold medal, or what?
Yeah, I saw that as well. That was a bit confusing. So I guess we have to go and ask the
There's a
statement about it.
from losing the match is that gold medal. I don't understand this shit.
Maybe it's a
we got no
consolation prize.
context. We got no context of what happened there, so we probably have to rely on our listeners who was there.
Big T, if you are still in the chat, please let us know what is up with that gold medal. The match itself, I mean, come on, it's Andrew, it's El Lindemann, it was hard hitting, not much to say. And I always say this, when I don't have much to say, it means it was a good match.
Both of them have similar physiques, so that's one thing I remember well about Lindemann, because he's not as big as Sema or like he's more of a smaller size wrestler, but he's like a pit bull, right?
Yeah.
So when
Big T says participants medal. Okay, that's a thing, I guess, with that promotion. Right.
Okay, no. So Statement doesn't want to admit that if he lose, he lose. He needs to have some sort of.
Hey, don't say anything like that. Okay, see, I feel like everything leads up to the main event, which was Aiden Rex versus T-Hawk, right? And
yes,
that finished with a bit of a no contest. You got Strong Hearts interfering, and then you had the face-off. Strong Hearts versus SPW. So obviously, and if you look at the rest of the card, it was split down the middle. This was supposed to be the rubber match. And that's why I said when Statement lost, it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. They were leading up to this. Face off. Like, nobody has the edge here because the last match was a DQ. So obviously that would lead to the next, face off.
Yeah. Very, very interestingly, I do not know what's your thoughts on Aiden Rex. He's our current SPW heavyweight champion. Have you seen him work recently for Ho Ho Lun?
Recently not, but I have met him in person a lot of time also, 4 years ago when I come here all the time. So he is very athletic, he do all this, but although some of them is not very, accurate target aim to your opponent, but he is considered as very, very athletic amongst the SPW rosters.
Yes.
And he's also very creative. When he think about new move, he will just keep training until if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, he keep creating new move that we haven't seen anywhere else before.
Very, very interestingly, he's very recognized here in Singapore as like a great grappler, technical wrestler. From the time you met him, do you always think that he would eventually become like the top guy in SPW, which he is right now?
I don't know, because that time he is amongst the smaller size wrestler over there, and then you see we have Dr. Go, we have Eurasian Dragon, we have who else? We have Afi and MK. So you remember they were all big. They're not like big, but they
got size. Yeah.
Yeah. So I if I were in SPW that time, he would always be in the mid card, but now since all these big guys are gone, and it's time for him to step up.
Yeah, and he has, because we watched the last show live. For me personally, he had a world heavyweight title match with Statement, and the crowd, we were talking to Statement, the crowd was really pro Statement at that point in time, but Aiden won them over because he was such he was so relentless. You know who he reminds me of or not, guys? Do you remember the match with Ilya Dragunov and
Volta? Gunther now, but yes.
Yeah, from NXT UK. It reminded me of that match. How Ilya Dragunov was so persistent, like a pit bull, always trying to get the win. That was how Aiden Rex performed, and I think the crowd was won over because of that.
I think so. Wonder Boy, how you doing? Wonder Boy, wrestler from Malaysia, is in the chat right now. What's up? It's good
Hi.
to see you, my man.
Yeah, we got Ho Lun with us all the way from
yes.
Osaka, Japan right now, right?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, so let's put a bow on the SPW review once again. We wish we were there. We're definitely gonna make sure we can be at the next one.
Yes, we will try our best. No more commitments, NS commitments. So
Well, yeah, especially for you. I hope not anyway, right? Hopefully I won't have any work commitments. All right, before we jump into the SummerSlam preview, I think we need to address the biggest wrestling news right now. And
yes,
it came to us in the form of one solitary tweet. I mean, wow. And Ho Lun, I don't know if you were paying attention to this, because obviously you grew up watching the WWF, right? Vince McMahon, in a tweet, basically said, all right, OMG, I'm 77, it's time for me to retire. Then now, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but he retired in a tweet.
In the tweet.
Yeah. When you heard that, when you saw that, what was your initial reaction?
I thought his Twitter was hacked.
yes.
Yeah, like you always assume that he would be in the head position forever, right? But then, of course, all these allegations, the whole Wall Street Journal story.
2 months, around 2 months ago, when this allegation just started, he come out on Raw and do a very short promo for 2 lines. That was, I can't remember whether that was Raw or SmackDown, but he was thinking, now then, forever, and the most important thing is together. So, I thought he's not gonna come out anymore, but then the next week he come out and introduced John Cena, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought, maybe he'll be there forever, but that tweet just come out. It broke my heart as well.
Yeah,
well, I think a lot of it has to do with the business side of things, right? When you get to that sort of level of like you have shareholders to answer for, I'm sure the reason he came out to do the whole promo on SmackDown and then the Cena thing is to show the shareholders that yes, everything is all right. These allegations are not going to affect anything. Business as usual. Please do not let my stock price, share price plummet. That was probably for the corporate side. And to me, what this shows, because, okay, imagine if there were no allegations and he decided to retire. There would be a package or there would be an angle which forces him to retire, right? Confirm, 100%, right? Like he's a showman to the end. So what this tells me is that this is very much a corporate decision in that there's probably more to come in terms of allegations and what is uncovered. And therefore, he's like, okay, the best thing to do for the corporation is to just say, I'm retired now and not do anything. Because if they did like an emotional package on SmackDown or Raw, and then more bad stuff comes out, it's going to be a bad look for the company.
It's interesting the fact that he announced it at the end of the week when the stock is closing, right? The share market is closing. So like that's where like the best time to drop bad news, because not enough time to affect the stock market. That's number one. And you're right, Mr. Yang. I have a feeling that this is not the worst of it. There's more shit to come. And I think he's trying to cut his losses while he still can.
Well, it's not even about cutting the losses. It's to make the company sort of like you distance yourself away from the company first, so the company is not affected. This is more for not so much for Vince, but for the shareholders.
Yeah, but I kind of see your point of view, Ho Ho Lun. Like it breaks my heart. Because we grew up with him. He is always been there. 40 years in the business. I think he bought the promotion from his dad in 1982. We weren't born yet, right?
No. But the thing is, how bad can you feel when these allegations are out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
SummerSlam is next week, and he can do a big retirement show during SummerSlam weekend, and he just doing it on one tweet. So I think I don't know, but I just feel very sorry about he's just got to leave wrestling business as the way it was. But I am sure when things got figured out, he'll come back and do a real retirement ceremony kind of things like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
There is not 1 second I don't believe that, he's just never going to come back. Like when and if this whole thing clears up, he's definitely going to have his WrestleMania moment and packages and stuff like that. Big T says he is still a majority owner. Yes, but he has, because WWE is a publicly traded company, right? You still have a board to answer to. And the best thing for them right now, for the company, is for him to distance himself away from the company, if in fact there are more allegations to come, which, I think that's the case lah.
Yeah, but the most important thing, like for you guys, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Like, what's going to happen to the company now? Because he stepped away from creative. So he's no longer, directing the shows and writing the scripts or being in charge of all that. So who's going to step up? Right?
Tovakin says VKM is all elite. Speaking of all elite, do you see Tony Khan's tweet after that?
Yes, I saw.
Oh my gosh.
He's the longest tenured wrestling promoter right now currently, right?
Stop it lah. He's trying to be funny and then like
it is.
I don't want to say poor taste because, everything Vince is accused of is poor taste, but it's still like, he's like trying to sneak in a little step. It's like, why? He could have been the bigger guy and just left it alone,
Yeah, it is what it is,
It's just CEO things, CEO things, taking steps.
Yeah.
Div Royalty says, does that mean Theory just lost another father figure? Walao.
Yeah, Theory has lost his push.
Oh no, then he's gonna start sucking up to Stephanie. I mean, okay, you had Stephanie show up on SmackDown and make the announcement for Vince, right? And then it was a very awkward. Okay, two things happened. On Raw, Titus O'Neil did the most cringe-worthy opening to Raw. Did you guys see it?
Yes, I did. That was last Monday, right?
Yeah, so Titus O'Neil, and he is their global brand ambassador or whatever it is. And he comes out and cuts this promo about how WWE does charity work all around the world, and we are a safe haven for, we don't discuss religion or politics. We are a safe haven for fun. and it was so awkward. It was like, oh my God, are they trying to make the company babyface? Just in case in the next few weeks more shit hits the fan, right? And then you had Stephanie come out on SmackDown and just do this whole, my dad's gonna retire. And then the weirdest thing happened. I swear. The crowd started chanting, "Thank you, Vince."
Yeah.
And she cut them off. She's like, you're getting ahead of me. Let me finish first. It's like, the crowd just gave you the moment. Don't cut them off. I was very shocked at that. I was like, why? You know what it was? She's following her script.
She probably had a script to read before the thank you Vince chant, so she got everything off script.
Exactly, right?
And that is isn't that the biggest problem with the WWE right now? They're holding on to these scripts like it's gospel to the point where they're not listening to the crowd and feeling the energy.
Yeah, it's so weird. Don't you think that she's just trying to rush through it to get it over and done with?
Because it's so awkward. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
The more awkward thing is at the end of the promo, let's do this again. Thank you, Vince.
I know. And then the second time around, it feels forced and fake. Whereas the first time, it was super natural and organic,
Yes.
Yeah, so let the crowd chant first, then jump in with your lines or whatever things you need to say.
I really hope that they get away from the scripts, now that, there's no Vince that is trying to enforce that. Again, Triple H is back as the executive, talent relations guy. We got no more John Laurinaitis, I think, as of now, or maybe forever.
Sure.
Do you think the culture will change? Do you think NXT 2.0 will get back to NXT Black and Gold?
I don't know if it'll go back to that, but I do think that the culture will change. And actually, NXT, it's starting to get a little bit better. Like from what I've seen, I stopped watching NXT altogether, right? After they became Rainbow Vomit. But from what I see, it's like, there's some interesting things. So I might start watching it again.
Hey, man, let me know first. If you say it's good, then I will slowly watch back.
Can. Anything else you want to add to the Vince McMahon thing? It's hard. It's hard to talk about it, honestly. Because, right, there are all these what ifs. What if it gets worse? and then you start praising him, and then you look like an ass.
Yeah, I think we have to wait and see, right, guys?
Yeah, it is very much a wait and see situation.
Yeah, so I will reserve my thoughts on praising or like not saying nice things, whatever it is, until we have the full clearer picture. But one thing I know, there's not going to be any more Netflix biography on Vince McMahon lah.
That got canned. Look, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, whatever he does in his own personal business, right? From a business standpoint, he brought us this entertainment product that we've watched since, I mean, all of us grew up on the WWF, right? And if it wasn't for Vince, we wouldn't have this podcast. We wouldn't be talking about wrestling at all. None of this would be possible. Ho Lun, what was your first wrestling memory? Was it the WWF?
Yes, it was. It was like The Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind, 96 WWF.
Nice. So you were like 10 years old, like around that time, right? Still a kid.
So I'm still the oldest guy in the room lah, because my earliest memory is still Macho Man and Hulk Hogan.
It's very old.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all good, man. I think all of us went through different eras of wrestling, but the thing is, even from your era until my era, until Ho Ho Lun's era, Vince McMahon was always there. Yeah. So we are now living in a post-Vince world, which is crazy, mind-blowing for me.
Okay, to be fair, do you think that he won't have his 2 cents? I'm sure he's sitting at home, even though he's not there, he'll be texting, Bruce Pritchard or Stephanie, and like, what is going on? Make sure this guy gets his push, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he will still have his hands in it, just, quietly lah, right?
Yeah, of course, quietly. But you know what it is, it's still going to be Vince's company no matter what. I think even in an unofficial capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping it becomes like Star Wars, not. I give it that's a very random reference, but when George Lucas sold it to Disney, it was weird for a while because they were trying to do things that was completely different from George Lucas. Mm-hmm. But somehow you get enough people who really care about the product. So in the case of Star Wars, it's Jon Favreau with Mandalorian, blah blah blah. But in WWE, we have people who really care about the product, like Triple H. People who get put in positions of power, they can actually make the company better. So. Yeah.
I mean, we saw what he did with NXT Black and Gold, so hopefully, yeah. Okay, let's very quickly now. Then the last thing we want to talk about. Yes,
last topic of the day.
SummerSlam. Have you been Ho Ho Lun? Have you been keeping up with the current storylines going into SummerSlam? Are you excited to watch it?
Not at all. I only know Brock Lesnar is coming back, but I was reading the other Twitter that he's walking out, so I don't know if it's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. So that whole walkout thing, right? Apparently, let's address that, I suppose. Yes. When news of Vince retiring came out, the backstage news was that, Brock was like, if he's not here, I'm not here. And he ran away, or he decided to no show. But within a few hours, I guess they managed to convince him to stay, probably Paul Heyman.
Yeah, they talked him out of it. And he appeared at the end of the show, actually, to interfere. So.
Yeah, so he did show up, yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I only read a little bit from Twitter. He's walking out, and I didn't have time to read the rest of that.
I wonder if they already, Triple H is already starting to work the dirt sheets. There's
honestly, I do not know whether it's overblown, but I think he did return. He was knocked out of that whole situation. But I still hope that it's the blow-off match, because we do not want to see any more Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Come on.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've done this to death. Irvin, very quickly, Max Dupree. Apparently, he is no longer Max Dupree. He had a falling out. He's asked for like a different gimmick or whatever. I don't know. So Maxine Dupree is now the head of Maximum Male Models. So this whole angle is going down the toilet.
Bro, come on. Like, if I was Max Dupree, I'll be like, screw this damn stupid gimmick, man. Why waste my time? Look, he rubbed people the wrong way because of that.
Yeah, look, Marseille and Mansoir, right?
Mansoir.
It was cute, but it was only cute because Max Dupree was the one, sort of heading up that faction. But now that he's gone, good luck. It's dead.
Who's this Maxine Dupree? Where she's from?
She is a former cheerleader, so she's one of those that they hired sort of like a, non-wrestler, but then they started to train her. So I don't know if she's been in the ring before on NXT.
I haven't seen her, but some people told me that she's from NXT UK. So,
Yeah.
Do you know of this lady, Sophia Cromwell, Ho Ho Lun? No, right?
No.
Must
Not-
be someone new.
Yeah. Irvin says actually Brock just went to eat a sandwich, came back, all the dirt sheets go crazy. Lol, maybe. You know how the dirt sheets are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this build up to SummerSlam then. Honestly, this once again feels like a 2-match card, 3-match card.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not last year's SummerSlam, because last year's SummerSlam we had Cena returning against
Well,
Roman Reigns.
This year we have Brock and okay, I can get behind it only because of A, the last man standing stipulation, and B, the theory factor, right? But we will get to that in just a bit. Let's run down the card real quick. Logan Paul versus The Miz. All right, Logan Paul.
Oh, what is happening now? So fast?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he came back on Raw. He did a main event segment on Raw, and he challenged Miz on Miz TV. So it's a match right now.
It was a bit of an awkward exchange, not gonna lie. Then again, it's one of his first few times sort of being the main baby face, right? The crowd was like, did you hear any audible cheers or boos? It was kind of like,
The crowd was trying to get into the segment. I think he managed to get them to chant tiny balls, I guess.
oh my god, the literal worst like thing ever. Like, who wrote? It's probably Vince actually. Like this sort of childish ball humor.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, hopefully, honestly, I think Logan Paul is going to bring eyes to the product, because I've seen some people who I do not know even watches wrestling tweeting about this or reposting about this. Hey, Logan Paul in WWE. It's a thing.
So there you go, Logan Paul versus The Miz, right? Can The Miz carry this fella to a full-on match?
I think people might be surprised. Like, I think Logan Paul has all the tools to be a good sports entertainer. She definitely has the athletic ability. We've talked about it. WrestleMania, he did a good job. So whether he can carry on his own, can he do a Pat McAfee? That is the question. I think that's the intriguing factor, right?
I will say no, and I also say that they're still kind of wasting the potential of Logan Paul. We all know that as a heel he would be drawing big bucks, but no, he has to be a face in here going up against The Miz. There's a very real possibility that the crowd will boo him and cheer The Miz.
Well, I mean, I will be on that side cheering as well.
I can't wait to see that. Okay, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
Okay, I guess they're back to fighting again, but they were away for a while. But hey, this match was great at WrestleMania, right? But I just do not know. They do not have the momentum that they did have at WrestleMania. So what is going to be any different?
And I mean, we call back to 1 year ago, SummerSlam, when Becky Lynch made her return and then won the title in 27 seconds, right? Do you think they could do the reverse here?
I do not know. Do you want to completely kill off the Becky Lynch character right now? Or
I hope not. I really hope not, because she's still sort of doing this weird, like, spiraling out of control character. Actually, it's like the whole Rollins family spiraling out of control, because they have very similar characters now, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
It's kind of funny. I think it's the perfect time to put them both on TV together, actually. Becky Lynch, was she someone in NXT when you were there, Ho Ho Lun, or Bianca Belair?
Bianca was. Becky Lynch, I think that time she was already up there in SmackDown.
Yeah. So Bianca was just starting out, right, in 2016. You get any chance to get to know her?
Bianca was, I think, amongst the most female rosters, she is one of the most athletic one. I remember we are having some kind of a performance center combined where we test all our strength, the jumping, the sprint, all things like that. She's always on the top 3.
We saw, I think it was an ad on WWE Network. Were you there as well? Like, do you get filmed? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I don't know if that film, because camera is there all the time. So even if I don't know if it's on the network, but there's a thing called Performance Center Combined, which happen every year. So all the Performance Center, the wrestler over there, we go do some competition on these kind of things.
Yeah,
Nice,
I remember that year they actually aired it on the network. I think they've stopped. I think they realized that, man, you know, because it's essentially what it is, right? Like just all the athletes doing exercises, and they kept selling that, oh, Bianca would always be the top few, blah blah, that kind of thing. So it was like 5, 6, 7 hours long. So I guess they thought, hey, yeah, just fill up the time with content. So just put that out there. I don't think they've done it since.
Yeah, her athletic ability is never in question. I think from the beginning, even if she didn't have the wrestling skills, you knew she was like an athletic specimen. But it's nice to see that she has grown and become like a main event star, like almost to the level of like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks when she was still there. But do you think that WWE is right to put her like as the main person, like even more so than Becky Lynch?
I don't know because WWE is a company where athletes, superstar, in and out, live here and go and come in. So at the end, there's got to be somebody who step up and it's kind of a take turn, but it's also kind of if you have the ability, you take turn first, and she's now in that position. So. That's it.
There you go. That's it.
For sure.
Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins. Okay, they literally just started the feud.
This suddenly just became a thing very recently.
A week ago. I mean, they had like a history, like tweets or something like that. I guess the WWE are just dragging those tweets out to make a compelling story. But honestly, just based on off the TV stuff, if you didn't know any of the backstage stuff, it's like, oh, this is new. So I guess they didn't have anything else for these two to do lah.
Clearly, right? Because Riddle, there was a period in time when he was supposed to be challenging Roman Reigns for title at SummerSlam. Seth Rollins, of course, after Cody Rhodes, I thought he was going to go into the title picture. So two people who have nothing to do, now they are
doing each other.
They are doing each other indeed.
There you go. I mean, I feel like at this point, Rollins is kind of bulletproof in that,
Yeah, he has.
Even if he loses, all right, let's make Riddle a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I love Seth Rollins, right? I think he has found his groove as a performer. Riddle as well, right? I think Riddle, ever since whatever he's done with Randy Orton, it's such a shame that Randy is out injured. But I think Riddle has proven that he can still stand on his own 2 feet without Randy Orton, without Team RK Bro. But like you said, what are they going to do in the meantime? They need something compelling, and I hope this is the start of a compelling feud between the both of them.
I just hope this is not a situation with Rollins anyway, where they just, well, he can't, he can take losses lah, and then he just becomes the next Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, let's hope not. Very interestingly, bro, like Dolph Ziggler suddenly appeared in the main event of Raw and attacking Theory. What is that all about, bro?
So they need somebody to make their golden boy look good, right? Who else than the guy who will sell like, nobody's business? Let's throw Dolph Ziggler at him. I mean, okay, I guess from someone who like has watched the product for so long, I can tell that. But to most people, they're probably scratching their heads going, what the hell is Dolph Ziggler doing here? And why is he inserting himself? Yeah. And then over on SmackDown, Theory is sort of like kind of mini feuding with Madcap Moss. So it's like, wow, so they are featuring Theory on both shows. So like I said, obviously they're trying to push him as the guy right now. He's having 2 mini feuds, and those are like we always talk about the side bosses.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't mind it. I think Theory getting enemies everywhere targeting him, I think it's a great way to like showcase the Money in the Bank winner. I just don't know what's the end goal. I mean, if the end goal is just to shine him up, then okay lah. But poor Dolph lah.
I wonder, and this can lead into our Bobby Lashley versus Theory US title match, right? I wonder if this is just a lead up to having all these guys he's feuding with, Dolph, Madcap, and Bobby, basically beat him into oblivion at SummerSlam after the US title match, so he can't cash in.
That would be interesting. Like I think Theory's presence will be really felt on SummerSlam. I do not know. She probably have multiple segments. She's probably trying to escape from all of them. And again, like you said, bleeding into the Bobby Lashley match. What condition will he come into that match?
Yeah, and okay, so Theory versus Bobby Lashley. Do you think he's going to win back the US title?
No.
Yep, same. Have you, Ho Lun, have you seen or heard much of Theory or Austin Theory, I guess?
MLW.
No, I'm not very familiar with the most memorable thing watch is how he took a Stone Cold Stunner in WrestleMania.
He did has a very interesting bum to the stunner.
He sold it like he tried to do a Rock slash any of these other guys that oversell the stunner. Yeah, but in terms of the whole Bobby Lashley versus Theory thing, I feel like that's quite over and done with already. Like
yeah, they've run through it quite well. I don't know, hold on. As a promoter, do you see potential in Theory as like a main event star? Like even if you do not know much about him, just seeing him as he is.
I don't know what WWE is looked for nowadays. But I mean, he's there. He got a spot with Stone Cold at WrestleMania. So, and as you see, WWE is not only for wrestling fans like you and me. That's a whole other mass market that they gotta take care for. So I don't know what the kids thinks nowadays. Like the kids, not the teenager. I mean the kids. Maybe they like him. I don't know. I don't know what's the preference and his taste now. But if they put him on a spot like this, there must be a reason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's undeniable lah. He's a phenom in the ring. So
smooth wrestler,
very smooth. You know, I guess they are giving him that Randy Orton push. You know, to see start him off as a heel. He's a cocky individual. Like whether people will gravitate towards that personality or not, we'll have to wait and see, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so. Let's move on from Bobby Lashley and Theory to Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Oh boy.
Oh, so Liv Morgan is currently the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. She won, of course, if you didn't know, like she won the Money in the Bank on the same night she cashed it in on Ronda Rousey after Ronda Rousey had like a hard-fought match with Natalya. Very interestingly, because I know Liv Morgan was in NXT for the longest time.
Yeah.
Seeing her now and seeing her from the time you were there, do you see like the improvement, or do you always knew that she had the potential? Because she was quite young when you were there, right? I assume.
Yeah, she was in NXT, and then she was already, she's not the athletic kind of person, but the charisma that she got, the fans love it.
Yeah, for sure. I think she's kind of like an underdog. She's always been an underdog throughout her career. And again, like she was not the number one girl in the Riot Squad. You know, she was always behind Ruby Riot. But somehow the fans connected with her. But will that be enough though?
I'll be the bad guy and I will say no. I think that right now, look, man. Even though she's the champion, and I guess they're trying to paint this underdog champion story because nobody here sees her as like being able to go one-on-one against Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey still, despite the booking, has that aura, right?
Yeah, so still barely still has that aura too.
Yeah, so the question is, where do they go with this match? You can't have Liv and Ronda honestly have a compelling back and forth match. That would not fly. That would make zero sense, right? Yeah. You can't have Liv drop the belt immediately because that just she was she's lucky lah,
Yeah.
And if you have Liv beat Ronda, it's like, is that even believable? So I'm very curious, but not in I'm excited for this. I'm curious in how are they gonna work themselves out of this? Maybe on SmackDown they can make it a triple threat. That's the only way out, I feel.
With Natalya?
Yeah, so that if there's a title change or if somebody needs to take a pin, Ronda doesn't take the pin.
Yeah, maybe. Or Liv Morgan wins by disqualification.
Yeah, like basically some sort of shenanigans where nobody makes Ronda look bad. Because, I know the rumors were like, Ronda wanted to drop it to somebody who was very passionate, blah, blah, blah. But even still, it makes no sense for her to lose clean, right?
I'm rooting for Liv Morgan, like personally, not because she's cute, not just that. Like
but her matches, bro. I'm sorry, her matches, bro.
I mean,
she's an entrance. Okay, let's put it this way. Right now, I feel like she's an entrance.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Maybe
Trish
one
Stratus
day. Exactly.
Wasn't good the first few years.
I was about to say maybe one day she'll pull a Trish Stratus and like really improve leaps and bounds. But we're talking about a different era. I'm sorry, but the current era of athlete, even the lowest on the totem pole is probably better than Trish was at her peak. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like everyone's athletic, I think. Everyone has a certain ability in the ring to even make it in WWE, for sure.
Like the standard is so high now versus back in the 90s where, they just went for a certain look. We don't need to revisit that era. You know what I'm saying? Div says, unless Bailey comes back, I would love that Bailey shows up and maybe maybe they do a Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair from last year. Bailey shows up, they somehow write Ronda Rousey off, say, oh, she got injured or whatever, and then have Bailey beat the shit out of Liv.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But again, like I'm on Team Liv. Somehow I'm rooting for her to somehow win the title. But yeah, that's just me.
Okay, there you go. Tag team championships: the Usos versus the Street Profits. And Ho Lun, you talked about the Street Profits, and you worked with them in NXT as well. Are you happy to see them sort of in that position right now, vying for the tag team championships?
They will already have a lot of creative moves back in the day in NXT, and then they're now even better,
Yeah. Have you seen how big Montez Ford has become? He has just become even more swole than he was last time.
Yes, last time he was already like very over from the crowd, especially in house show, not the TV shows. Because the house show you got more time to interact with the fans, but now on TV, it's good.
Yeah, and the thing with Montez, he was never a small guy. He was tall and he was quite like built. But now I think he put on a bit of mass as well. So he looks amazing and he can still do like the 10-foot leap off the top rope with the frog splash. It's just, main event guy soon, hopefully.
You know the game that they released, the WWE, not the 2K one, the one where they released during the pandemic, where it's like all the wrestlers are blown up.
Battlegrounds.
Battleground. Yeah. Montez Ford looks like his Battleground character now.
So Jeff Jarrett is the special guest referee for this match. Once again, the most random special guest referee, but okay, I guess because it's Nashville, they had to throw Jeff Jarrett in there.
Yeah, so weird. But I do not know what's the connection he has between like him and Street Profits are like the complete opposite of each other.
No, like I said, it's the Nashville connection, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. But apparently Jeff Jarrett is gonna start to appear more on television. That's what they're saying.
You only have 2 days left. You have Raw and SmackDown. That's it. You're at SummerSlam already.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I don't know. Usos keeping the title, is it gonna be too stale?
Honestly, I actually kind of can't tell at this point. Like, are the bloodlines stale? That's the question you're asking.
Yes, so that's the question. But that's why that makes Street Profits winning still a fair possibility.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm actually really looking forward to this, just to see, where this goes, because like you have the potential of Roman losing his title as well, or his titles.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of these teams. I know they've wrestled a couple of times, actually a lot of times, but there's proper stakes here. I really think that they're gonna be a show stealer of a match at SummerSlam.
And then you'll have Jeff Jarrett somehow getting involved as well, and then it is what it is.
Yeah,
So,
I do not
there
know.
you go.
Pat
Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin.
Pat McAfee, my favorite non-wrestler in WWE right now.
Yeah, wrestles twice a year. Do you have any thoughts about Pat McAfee? Was he training at NXT or did he have his own training
I have no idea, but he had a match at WrestleMania, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Against Austin
he has trained a lot, not a bit. He has trained a lot for that.
Yeah,
so
theory. And then he
has go through, but he looks so much better than a lot of indie guys.
Yes, yes, he does. I mean, he had that match with Adam Cole on NXT as well. That was incredible. So I think it goes back to like he has that he understands the wrestling business. The way he cuts promos, the way he puts over people, like he gets what this business is, as opposed to a lot of the indie-rific guys that you might see on like an AEW or whatever, where they're just doing 10,000 moves every match.
I think he's quickly becoming a favorite of the McMahons as well. You've realized that he's like part of the inner circle more often these days.
Yeah, he hangs around with them like at UFC events, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think he is slowly becoming a favorite. I think Michael Cole has definitely warm up to him.
Yeah.
And he is like Logan Paul, but like a more advanced version of Logan Paul. Somebody who is like a outside mainstream star, but knows the business, loves the business, and can actually perform.
Yeah, and is a part of the business because he's on the commentary team, right?
Yeah,
And then you like they have a history. So it's funny that the WWE actually put out this tweet showing Pat McAfee and Baron or Happy Corbin because they were teammates on I can't remember which football team, but they were.
Is it the Indiana Colts or something like that?
Yeah, they were roommates or something like that. So they tweeted like a picture of them both like with their buzz cuts and back when they were in the NFL. So people are like, this is WWE long-term booking, which is tongue in cheek lah. It's quite funny lah. But
I think it's gonna be a good match because both of them wanted this match. They've been actually fighting apparently backstage to get this match on the card or shown. So who knows? It might also be a show stealer in a way that you don't expect.
Yeah, it's just that how many times can they pull the Pat McAfee card until it gets stale? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think of him more of a Jerry Lawler, where he will wrestle regularly, or not regularly, but infrequently.
Yeah, and then it's versus Happy Corbin, who is as stale as it gets, lah. Unfortunately,
well,
so
that's another story for another day.
Yeah. Honestly, this match, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
It's just one of those, like, okay, it's going to be there. Pat McAfee's going to pull off some move we didn't think he could do, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like the first match he had with Adam Cole, I keep bringing that up because that was the one where we expected nothing from him. And when you have zero expectations, you can only exceed, right? And he exceeded it by leaps and bounds. Now, this is the third time we're seeing him in the ring. It's like, okay, how can you, like, the bar is already, like, moved up.
Yeah. And I think, like you say, different to say it best. Like, McAfee is annoying, but he's still better than Logan Paul and Ronda Rousey for WWE.
Yes, because he gets the business. He's a fan from the beginning, right? Yeah. All right, let's get to the main event. And the reason why this is not stale is because A, last man standing, B, Theory's lurking in the background. We're talking about Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, that's a long-ass title, versus Brock Lesnar.
Well, let's just hope it is the final match, please.
it should be lah. It should be. This, I guess, all depends on whether Brock is coming back. His contract, is he contracted to come back?
Yeah.
Do we need another Brock Lesnar title reign?
No, we don't. But do we need Roman Reigns to drop his title soon? I think yes.
Theory?
But it's not Roman Reigns. It's not Brock Lesnar that should be beating him. No, I don't think Theory will win the title right now. I don't think so.
So do you think that, like what I said earlier, and this is my prediction, all the people that he's been pissing off, they are going to hold him back, lock him in a room or whatever, so he can't come out to steal the title? That's my guess.
I think that would make sense. But again, last man standing, no disqualification. Anyone can interfere. I think he's definitely going to factor into this match somehow.
Who?
Theory. He will try. Yeah. He will try his best.
Yeah. But like I said, I think he's going to cash in, but then Dolph Ziggler will come out of nowhere and super kick him. Or Madcap Moss will tackle him into the stands or some such
Bobby
shit.
Lashley will spear him into the audience somehow.
Yeah. So he will be thwarted, right? But Roman... Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. But what I was trying to say is like Brock Lesnar coming back and with all the drama surrounding Mr. McMahon, I think that will also play a part in the booking of this match. Because I think Brock Lesnar is more unpredictable than Roman Reigns, right? Yeah. So I think they will keep Roman all the way until WrestleMania next year.
Wow, and now with Roman and his part-time schedule as well, it's like and.
SummerSlam is 2 years since he returned and became the champion. So it's almost 2 years since he became champion.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Ho Lun, what do you think of Roman Reigns holding the title even longer than 2 years?
I don't know. Is it 2 years already?
Yeah,
it's reaching 2 years in this month. Yeah, this coming August.
SummerSlam. Yeah.
I actually didn't aware who is champion and who is not champion nowadays. But most of the moment that aroused my interest to turn into Raw or SmackDown is always when John Cena come back, or when Stone Cold is there, or when the people of my era come back to Raw, I'm gonna watch it. But when it's the new generation, I really do not have a lot of interest watching. I still believe in the wrestling of WWE. I love it. I love the style WWE do, but I'm just not interested to watch it.
See, that's very telling as far
Yeah,
as the
that's
product.
perfect.
We brought this up a billion times. Like, who is the next big breakout star? They're trying to push it as theory, right? But so far, they've relied on Brock and Brock and Brock.
Even Roman Reigns, like you said, I think you just gave the perfect, most telling example. He is the current big star right now.
Yeah.
But the people of our generation are not really watching wrestling for him. Like, we accept that he's the top guy, but there was a point in time where he was the most compelling thing on television. Every time he comes on television, I really want to see what he does. But I think we've reached way past that stage. I think we are due for some sort of refresh. He needs to drop the title eventually. But again, no one is capable of doing it. Who is most credible to take him down?
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? Like, obviously the plan was for Cody to be the guy, but then he got injured, and then now they literally have nobody. Obviously, Drew has been slated to, vie for the title in the UK, right? And of course, you want a top draw. Drew versus Theory just sounds kind of, no, right? Yeah, it doesn't work. So it's going to be Drew versus Roman at Clash at the Castle. That makes more sense. It sounds better. It's a marquee match. So where does this leave Theory then? Are we going to have more months of him maybe? Or is he going to cash in and literally get super kicked? He literally could throw away his cash in. So that is the other outcome that we didn't bring up, right?
Yeah.
It could be...
If it's a failed cash in, basically.
Yeah, so do you think they will do him dirty do him like that? Give him a failed cash in?
If it's a failed cash in, then you know that the Vince McMahon presence is no longer there already. Confirm one.
His Vince McMahon aura has left. And then now he's no longer protected. But no, they've put in so much effort into him, it doesn't make sense for them to just throw it away, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he will win the title.
No, me neither. So, apart from making him look foolish by having him not cash in but waste the contract, I think, that's the thing. Like, if they take him out of the picture early in the card, it makes the main event less interesting. So they have to have him, quote unquote, lurking in the background all the way till the main event, right?
Yeah.
So it's how they wrap up that last few minutes of the main event that is going to matter.
Yeah. Overall, what's your hype level for SummerSlam? Like, what do you guys think?
For me, it's like a solid 6.5, maybe 7.
I agree, because there's so many things that's happened in wrestling recently. SummerSlam almost feels like an afterthought somehow.
Yeah.
So,
Ho Lun, you've heard us talk about SummerSlam. Do you feel compelled based on the matches that have been listed? Do you feel compelled?
Zero.
Sorry?
Zero.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Unless they announce a Vince McMahon come back to do a retirement ceremony, I'll definitely put it on. But from what you have mentioned, and really not really interested. If it show up on Twitter, I'll watch it.
Oh,
but
right.
I'll not put it in and watch.
yeah.
Right.
I seem to realize Japanese wrestlers are very big on Twitter. Like, I see a lot of the wrestlers very active there.
Just short clips and there you go, stuff like that. Okay, there you go. That's your preview of SummerSlam, everybody. I believe SummerSlam this year is on a Saturday again.
Yes.
The WWE have been doing a lot of Saturday pay-per-views, so that's Sunday morning for us in Singapore.
Yeah, and I think it's Sunday as well for you in Japan, right? Like later in the morning.
We only have 1 hour difference.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's not so bad. Yeah, I
Div
keep thinking Japan is so far away. I don't know.
No, it's not that. But Div Royalty says no Judgment Day on Sunday. Judgment Day is dead in the water, Div. I'm sorry to say. Actually, Edge is rumored to make a return on Raw or SmackDown, right? So probably Judgment Day versus Edge, lor?
Yeah, we'll never know. Judgment Day, Rey Mysterio as well, apparently, because that whole Dominic is a thing.
So okay, Raw tomorrow is supposed to be Rey's 20th anniversary celebration. They're gonna do Rey so dirty at this. You know it. You know it's happening. He's gonna get destroyed by Judgment Day. Maybe Dominic will turn. This was what all along. And then, okay, I'm calling it right now. As I'm talking about it, I'm calling it right now. Edge and Rey, didn't they used to be a tag team?
They did.
And Rey versus Judgment Day. There you go. Because Edge is supposed to come back. There's your match.
Wait. I need to plug this. Rey Mysterio!
Booyaka, booyaka!
So our WWE 2K star is being done dirty this year. We got 20 years of John Cena, it was well done. 20 years of Randy Orton was well done. Batista week was also not bad.
Well done, yeah.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, I think, poor guy lah.
I think he's gonna get done dirty. You can quote me on this.
Yes, we shall see tomorrow on Raw to confirm it.
Absolutely.
Last question for you, Ho Ho Lun. Like, I know you're so busy. You're wrestling. You're traveling. You're doing seminars. Like, what do you watch any wrestling just to unwind, or if so, what is like your wrestling? Like, what do you watch for your own wrestling entertainment?
Because I'm touring a lot, I watch a lot of wrestling when I'm not on the show, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I actually watch a lot of Asia wrestling, like how's going on in Singapore, Thailand, Philippines. The wrestling, of course, is not the top level of wrestling, but that's the thing that I've involved most.
So do you watch it as like sort of like a work hazard? Like, so, okay, since I'm involved, I have to watch it. Or do you actually watch it for the entertainment value?
I feel entertaining. I still find it entertaining to watch, but it's also because there's the people that I know. There's the people that I saw him since his first day. So I feel I am connected to this kind of wrestling. You know what I mean? Since coming back from WWE, this is one of my main goals, is that to bring, America, that there's a wrestling promotion in every state, every city. There's also the same case in Japan. So I think Southeast Asia, the country is not as big as America, but Southeast Asia as a whole, as an area where we can actually tour like American wrestling. We have wrestling company in Bangkok, we have wrestling company in Manila, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur. Actually, if we do a great job here, it might take time. It might take 5 years, 10 years, but at the end, I believe, that's my goal as well, to establish some sort of a wrestling business over, in this area. But speaking about this time I'm coming to Singapore, right? Other than doing this seminar, I'm also doing some visit to, and to sites. Maybe I'm able to bring some Japanese wrestling into Singapore in the future.
Oh,
nice.
Okay. Can't wait for that.
Do you see like a potential pathway for Singapore wrestlers and vice versa, for Japanese wrestlers to come over to Singapore regularly, or for Singapore wrestlers to come over and potentially join Dragon Gate or like train with you guys?
Yes, especially when Dante Chen become an NXT superstar, it actually opened up that dream can come true for a lot of Singapore wrestler. Before this Dante Chen thing, I come SPW, I go Grapple Max to learn a bit and then just to entertain my friend once a month. But now they have a goal. They have a goal, and that goal can come true. And that's Dante Chen, he demonstrate how this works. So maybe it's trigger a bit, for this young wrestler. I click, I can do that. So I work hard, I'll do that. A good inspiration, Dante Chen, and I hope someone like this, like Dante Chen, the mindset, the work that they put in, someone like this is going to exist very soon, or it's already exists, just we didn't know that yet.
Yes. And if this is a dream that you want, be sure to go join the seminar, the wrestling seminar that Ho Ho Lun is doing right here in Singapore. That's the start. You got to get that good, strong foundation first before you chase your dreams, right? August 12th, 13th, and 14th.
12, 13, and 14th. I'm sure I cannot change someone in only 3 days. But I hope I can click you in your mind, that open up something in your mind that you keep training and give you a new goal to achieve.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. We hope that we can get to see you perform live, like do a live match at Singapore very, very soon, on top of whatever your commitments you've done.
I don't know if the ROR YouTube taping is open for you guys, but if the time is okay, just come over. It's gonna be a small show, but to meet you guys in person.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely
Yeah,
love to. We'll see whether the timing lines up for us.
Yeah.
But if it does, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. So last thing, any last words? Because we still have a solid audience still listening in. Do you have anything you want to say to our Singapore fans and like the Singapore wrestlers in Singapore? In our audience right now.
Um, I don't know because I'm not working in Dragon Gate, right?
Yeah.
Actually, a few years ago, Dragon Gate and SPW did a few shows. I can't say they did a few shows together, but we have sent a few wrestlers to Singapore, maybe a couple of times. But that time I haven't wrestled here yet.
Yeah.
But now I come work here, and that's the connection is here, and I really hope that to bring in Dragon Gate into Singapore. The style here is a lot of high flying, running, sort of 6-man tag is always our the best selling point of our company is doing 6-man tag, and I know there's a lot of I don't know if you watch a lot of tag team match or 6-man tag match. Not just in Singapore. Also, when you watch American 6-man tag match, sometimes it becomes very, very messy, right?
Yeah.
Who is who? But this is the thing that Dragon Gate is good at, and I hope to bring that into the Singapore, wrestling fans.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much for staying almost 3 hours with us. We really appreciate it. I know it's very long. But I think the audience really enjoyed your insight, the things that you shared about all the topics that we talk about. So thank you so much.
With you guys as well. Very enjoyable.
Thank you. So I hope you were entertained by our discussion.
And we will definitely look forward to seeing you when you come down to Singapore. So everybody go and check out Ho Ho Lun on Instagram. Your Instagram account again.
HOHOLUN 719, all in one word.
There you go. Go slide into his DMs if you're interested in the wrestling seminar as well. Chad, thank you so much for hanging out as well. Ho Lun, once again, thank you also. And have a good couple of days ahead before you fly on down to Singapore, and we'll see you here soon, my man.
See you soon. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take it
you
easy.
so much.
All right,
Alright.
we're going to get out of here as well. So everybody in the live stream, thank you for hanging out with us. As usual, it's Mr. Young.
And it's Foreign in the building. Take care. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Kick to the gut. I like it.